Ride with me. I'm feeling good today, I'm good today. So turn it up and let the music play. Sun's out, not a single rain cloud in the sky. And Mrs. Green got a smile on her face. Okay, check. I'm feeling blessed, I'm feeling blessed. I got some bills, but got no stress. I ain't gon' stress, The cards was dealt, he holds the deck. Knowing that, tell me why I'm gon' fret. Switch it up, yo, como estas, muchacho, vámonos. Like the grill, everybody down for dominoes, ha. Yeah, we having a good time. Everybody in the hood and it's good vibes. Good vibes every time we meet up. No one beefing, so we throw the peace up. Throw your peace up, celebrate your seed into the kingdom of heaven, cause we gon' dance the streets. Come on,
woke up this morning and I think I'm gonna change the world. I'm looking back on how I thought things would stay the same. I know it's gonna be, yes I know it's gonna be a good day. I got sunshine on me, not worry about those rainy days. He will supply my needs. That's why I fully trust in Him. I'll never go a day without you.
4 minutes after 6 o'clock on the 15th day of July, year of our Lord 2025. So glad to have you tuned into and you know what? I'm going to say this in my introduction. We feel that this is the greatest radio station in the country. The BGM is? They feel as though we're the top radio station in the country.
What is it?
The BGMA, the Bahamas Gospel Music Association. We won the award. You know that? We won the award for best top gospel music station in the country.
Not talk show yet.
Not the talk show yet. We actually, somebody else on our station won for the what did she win for? Best DJ on radio. Yeah.
Powerful.
Or you don't value Glory 93.9 either.
I hear every week.
I was going to.
Man, come on.
I'm introducing a thought because we're so glad to have a special guest with us today. I'm starting mentioning our guest. Our guest was with us in the trenches for years. I know of this gentleman. I've been knowing him now probably in excess of 30 years, somewhere in that ballpark, around about 30 years or so. And I just find it so interesting as we've had a wonderful friendship over the years, decades now. And I turn on my computer and I go online and I see him doing interviews on everybody else's radio station. He's all over the place. Seems as though he has a standing position on some stations. I won't call their name because we don't call their names on this station. But he is there all over the place doing interviews. Seems as though he had a regular gig. And I coming out the gates with this because the Bible says before you go to worship, leave your gift, go to your brother. My brother is now here, and I can say I have a fundamental problem. I take umbrage with the fact that after all these years,
Take him 6 weeks to get you.
But not 6 weeks.
But 6 weeks of constant invites.
Right. Not even that. I'm talking about we've been doing this. Barbershop Talk started 5 years ago. We started before COVID. We started like 2019, and my dear brother has been on everybody's station, giving everybody airtime, everybody getting all kind of mileage, and here we are, and we after. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Lincoln Bain here. That's all we have to say. Lincoln Bain is here. This is a member of the Barbershop. Let me say this. He's not a guest here on this show. The show is called Barbershop Talk. He's a part of the Barbershop community. You wouldn't know that because you would see him on everybody else's talk show, on everybody else's station, making every place else home. People calling their station, this is the home of the COI. This is the home of Lincoln Bain. I said, wow, this Lincoln Bain home? Wow. And we were there.
The whole home?
Yeah. We were there all through all kind of conspiracy controversy TV, conspiracy TV, all that. We was there through all of that, Lord. All kind of listening devices. We was there for all of that at the barbershop. And now look at us. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're so glad to have with us the leader of the COI, our dear friend and brother. He has decided to sit with us, and it's amazing the day that he decided to come with us. It's the day that his personal brother, they've been traveling the world together, decided not to come. They was making a brand new world together, and now he is not here, but Lincoln is here. I don't know if it's intentional. It feels intentional that he is not here, but Lincoln is here. Good afternoon. Welcome to Barbershop Talk, Mr. Lincoln Bain.
Good afternoon, my brother. How are you doing?
I didn't tell you how you doing. Okay.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I will respond to your kind words with. Y'all been on this show for how much? 5 years before?
Almost 6 years.
COVID? 6 years?
Yes, sir, before COVID.
And this is the first time y'all invite me?
Because we have never invited nobody from Barbershop to this show. This show is open to the whole Barbershop. Do you not send the link to all the Barbershop boys, Tito, every week?
Yeah.
See, the problem is this ain't the Lincoln I know. I want the bicycle riding, the go-kart we used to ride in the road when we started our own business in the skating ring. I want the Lincoln in the t-shirt, the slippers, with no lotion on the foot.
And jeans.
And jeans. No haircut.
Never lotion. No lotion. Never no lotion.
It's a brand new Lincoln. Suit van, 3 pins.
Jergens right down. Jergens all the way down.
No ashy skin.
And he have on socks.
Socks though?
That's right, because he never was wear no socks.
By crap. So the invitation was always open to Lincoln Bain to join us, and he never did. He never did. When he's off the school, we was there.
That's right. Lincoln,
we were there.
and he was the first one to carry me to China. It
Wow.
was his trip.
Wow. Y'all had a major business together, the one that y'all didn't invite me to be a part of. I remember that one too. Neither did y'all invite me to be a part of the trip.
Sean, where you at? Sean said he ain't coming. He said y'all have a good show.
I also remember when I thought I was a part of the inner circle. I thought I was part of the inner circle. And
I'm calling Kenyatta Taylor.
And y'all went to China. I said, oh, okay. I guess now I know where I stand. Y'all all
They
y'all
didn't
went.
tell you he was going?
No, none of y'all told me.
My
I
Lord.
know the feeling.
None of y'all told
My
me. None of y'all
Lord.
told me where I was going. And then y'all came back and started a business. I didn't know.
my God.
I didn't know nothing. I came over to the skating ring one time. I said, "Wow, these are my friends. Look at my friends. My friends are doing big things. I am not. I wasn't invited. I paid entrance fee like everybody else. I
What
paid
you was
entrance
doing?
fee.
Skating?
Y'all what kind of darkness?
Skating, go-kart.
That was your. Hey, that's your finish. Y'all close the whole church down. Y'all closed down the whole church.
You're right.
Y'all closed down the church. Closed down the
Old
school.
church, the old school.
I think that the Lord's protecting me. The Lord said, "Don't be the fool this." That must be why I didn't be about. I wasn't part of that. I mean, but I want y'all to know, who listening. This is the kind of history that we have with this young man. And after all this time, boy, I tell you. So this could be all the gloves off today. all the gloves off today. We get all out for it. Share the link wherever you are. Share the link out. If you're listening on the radio, welcome. If you're listening on one of our social media platforms, welcome. If you're listening on Lincoln Bain's page, you're on the wrong page. Come on our page, please. Thank you so much. What's been going on, buddy? You been busy? What's been happening?
I've been very busy. But y'all know all my business. This, I go on a lot of talk shows, but this is the show where y'all know all my good, my bad, and my ugly.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
Wait, Lincoln, that's 5 phone.
I have 2 phones.
That-
Yeah.
that's a-
One US phone, one NASA phone.
That's a charger.
Yeah, that's a charger.
All right, I said, man, that's plenty phone.
Yeah.
How much people
Yeah.
calling you? You aren't even in power yet.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I knew these young men, Bishop Denczil rule. I've known all these fellas, Tito and Carlo, and I've known them since I was a teenager, and now some of them have gray hair. All right, I'll catch them up soon with the gray hair.
I mean,
stuff.
technically, we all got gray hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop using the
Technically.
bait.
Based on what I see get on, I think all let's get great.
Yeah, man. We just gotta tell.
Someone's got it wrong. We all got gray hair.
Sure. Tito or Sean cutting. You just leave the Beijing alone.
Not gonna happen.
Just leave the Beijing alone,
I
man.
come to territory.
One of my most fond memories of Lincoln, I never forget this, but we was and I don't know if he's denied the story or not, but I never forget it. I was when Wendy's was radio, where Popeyes is now, years ago. We had just signed. We had just done Andy wedding, Andy and Zenobia. Remember y'all seen the Andy wedding?
Yes.
Right. So I was there in Wendy's. I think I was there with my girlfriend at the time. And Lincoln had this one particular young lady. Listen now, everybody, this is years ago, many years ago. This is not last week, this is years ago. And I believe Lincoln was trying to woo, I use the term woo, this young lady. Lincoln sang every song we sing to that wedding, to that girl.
In
Wendy's. I'll never forget it. I heard him sing it. I don't care if he denied it or not. I was sitting right there close by where the ketchup is. That's when you just kill the ketchup. You pumping the ketchup. I was right there, and he's by the window. He's far from me. He hailed me when he come in, but he gonna sit far, him and this girl. And this boy was singing every song we sing to Andy wedding. This boy sing to this girl. And I can end the story there. He could claim he don't remember it never happened, but I just saw it at that time. We didn't have camera phones because I wanted to record that. This boy was singing up a storm, by all
In Wendy's, Lincoln?
in Wendy's.
Yeah, that's
We've
back.
come a mighty long way.
That's back in the days when Denczil couldn't sing, but I couldn't sing. But now he could beat me singing. You have all the notes now.
Damien say, where's Peter when you need him? This is going to be an absolutely powerful show. Where's Mr. Wilson when you need him? Mr. Wilson ain't here. All right, so let's go. Let's get popping off. This funny word, evolution from where we began to where we are now. How we got here? How Lincoln get doing politics?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I was never interested in politics. I mean, you all know me. I was a quiet fella, except for when we round with basketball or religion,
right?
Or maybe sometimes politics in the barbershop.
Yeah, I was gonna say you was never quiet. You was always loud, very passionate.
Yeah, when it comes,
but
to,
wasn't in that public. That wasn't in that space.
Yeah, so I will say that I don't know this natural progression. I became an activist. I don't know what spurred that, but I always used to fight for people, other people, not myself, and that just progressed into fighting for the public.
I can ask you a straight up question. I cut you off with this barbershop talk. We don't let nobody finish their comments. We just cut them off.
Good.
That's the barbershop. Controversy TV. Mm-hmm. That was to make some money, or that was a passion, idea, or conviction. Let's talk real. What these you did a lot of things. What these things?
That's probably where it started,
Yeah, I think that's where it started. I mean, based on what we can remember.
Yeah,
that's why I bring it up.
Yeah, thank you.
So we had the Controversy TV Lincoln. Mm-hmm. Was that I got this ability, I got this creativity, or was it passion based? Was it just let's make some money, let's monetize my giftings, let's get together with Utah? What was the drive behind that? Sometimes we make everything seem, and it may be with you, like people come to me all the time, boy, Bishop, I see what you're doing, boy, the Lord. I say, no, I just was trying something. Hey, people say, like this, like my songs,
ain't that deep,
all these hymns, man, use the hymn and all this. I say, no. I was clowning around with the hymns one time, and I say, boy, yo, this work. Boy, and I'm a Bishop Neil Ellis met me one time. He said, man, this passion that you have for hymns. I said, Bishop, hold on, pause right there. I do not have a passion for hymns. Mm-hmm. Now, people listening now probably can say, boy, I listen to him no more. There wasn't no passion. I was just good at it.
Mm-hmm. And you know a lot of hymns.
I grew up in church, so I say, let's try to do some things to be more creative. And my pastor liked it. My pastor was old. Mm-hmm. My pastor liked the hymns, so I started doing the hymns, and that's how it evolved. It wasn't the Lord spoke to me and I heard the voice of God, and the Lord told me to revive the dying discipline of singing hymns. No, so I wasn't reviving no discipline. It was just there. What was it for you? Was it this Controversy TV? What that was?
Controversy TV was, I was tired of seeing the media the way it was. They never challenged anything. It was just the politicians say this, the politicians say that. There was no investigative journalism, and I was sick of it. And so we decided to show the Bahamas the way it was. And so, but I wanted to do that. So I approached Utah because I wanted to do a documentary to show the world the way it was. I was inspired by Michael Moore, who did those like Bowling for Columbine and Fahrenheit 9/11. Right. I was inspired by him. I said, let me do a documentary showing the world the way it is. And so I called Utah. Utah said, no. You need to do a TV show. It's like, TV show? Man, I don't have time. I'm a businessman. I don't have time to do this every week.
Right.
I can't do that. He said, man, you got to do it. You saying you want to show the country the way it is. I said, okay. And I said, okay, what are we going to call it? And I said, we'll call it Controversy. He said, no, we'll call it Controversy TV. Okay, that makes sense. And so we did that. And we did a pilot, and we went to Cable 12, and they said, oh, we want this now. Y'all can do this? Y'all ready to do this?
Right.
Like, yeah, we've done it. And so they put us on there, and they put us on there for free. So, because they also wanted a voice out there, but the problem that they had at the time was, even when they did this thing called My 5 Cents, they would get calls from politicians, and the politicians would be, why y'all ask that question? Why y'all do this? And so they had to pull it. And so now this was them with an independent group willing to go out there, hit the streets, ask the questions, and do these kind of things that we did. So they wanted that on there, and they could say, well, that ain't us.
Right.
And so that's how we got on there. And so we focused on getting the attention of the people, and we focus on also teaching them and educating them and all that kind of stuff. And it became the top show that they ever had on cable to this day.
Okay. So, and I guess that stirred the whole activist thing. Is that kind of what I was already there?
Yeah, because I wasn't doing activism before that, not that I can remember.
No, you was doing go-karts with Tito and Sean.
No,
skating ring.
I was
doing tennis.
No, playing basketball.
Y'all was selling jockey. Y'all was doing all kind of stuff.
Basketball was life.
All them things y'all was doing that I was in the bottom.
No, but all of us was church boys. All of us grew up in the church.
Right.
I don't know about Carlo, but all of us grew up in the church. For me, it was 6 days a week.
Carlo was young then.
Yeah, it was 6 days a week in church. So it progressed into this. But yeah, so we well, I forgot what your question was, but we did the controversy TV thing. It caught on. People loved it, and we did it for many years. The activism came out of that. Because we used the show to fight for people, to give people a voice and to be a voice for people. We spoke out for people who couldn't speak out for themselves. So while on the radio shows, you know, Darren Miller them will hang up the phone if you call someone's name. A
Right.
politician name, hang up.
Right.
We said, why can't we call their name? There's no law against calling their name. We're going to call their names.
Right.
And so we would call their names. We would show the facts. We would educate people. And we were the first fearless show that would call their names and address issues they didn't want to address.
Gotcha.
So the Paradise Island thing was one of the biggest things you ever do, eh?
What partisan thing?
With the whole beach thing and on the
No.
fence and all that other
No.
stuff.
No,
No,
man.
no.
No.
The
That was,
one
that
with
was the beginning, eh?
No, the one with the boat.
With the boat?
Yeah, with
And the boats crash?
The boat crash. I think that was the biggest one.
Oh, yeah, because you
Yeah,
get
that
the
was
man,
fun.
you get the man the money and all
the
the
handcuff
things.
us after the gate.
Yeah,
But when you want to figure after the gate, that wasn't for Paradise Island?
no,
No.
we broke down that gate.
Yeah.
No, what happened was some
Paradise Island was big though.
Sea Ola.
Yeah, Paradise was
What's
big.
the biggest Sea Ola?
But I because you was fighting for the people to
Okay,
get
a
their
lot of
money.
people died on the
People was
Sea Ola,
injured and all them stuff. He was fighting for them
With
to
Sea
get
Ola.
right to get
Yeah.
their money and everything
Yeah,
else.
Sea
I
Ola was
remember
big,
that.
huh? The Sea
I
Ola was
remember
big.
that.
Yeah, the Sea Ola was a big deal.
So after we get interrupted. So after the beach thing is when you like started like step into the whole politics realm. Like.
the beach thing.
After the Paradise Island thing, after the fence thing, that's when you started to do this. Okay, now I can take this to another level.
Yeah,
I
it
think
kind of started progressing into that,
the
and I
politics thing.
offered to run after that.
What was first? The first was the beach or was Sea
Yeah,
Ola?
the Sea Hauler was in the early 2000s.
Yeah, Sea Hauler
Yeah,
was
the
first.
beach thing was like
Yeah,
in
I can answer
2000, probably 2016 or
Okay.
something.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the Sea Hauler thing was huge because there was a big boat crash. The politicians came, stood up. Oh, we're gonna bring justice to these people. You know what they always do? They're in front of the hospital, big press conference. 4 years later, no one helped them. So
Right.
someone told them, if you want justice, you got to go to Lincoln Bain. I don't know why someone told them that,
Right.
but they did. Someone called me and said, okay, let's
How much people you get straight?
Plenty.
in that matter.
Yeah.
A lot of people. They got straight. We fought for them, even though everyone said it was impossible. Their matter was already statute bar, so legally you couldn't win it in court. But we still fought, showed what was going on, embarrassed the government to
Hold
the
on, go
point
back.
where
It was that what? Statue bar?
yes,
Meaning what?
it reached the statute of limitations
Oh, okay.
where you can't sue anymore. All right, and so we still won because we went after the government of the day hard. I went and I pushed microphones in their face. We brought the attention to people. We pushed microphones in their face, walking to the House of Assembly. Most most media would never do that before because they didn't know that you could do that. They thought that was against the law because of the way the law is worded. And so I said, that's not against the law. And I went and did it. And I said, anyway, if it's against the law, just lock me up. But these people need help.
You get like
And
you like
so-
to get locked up. But how much time you handcuff? You got him counting.
I stopped counting. Martin Luther King is 29 times he got locked up. I'm trying to catch him up. But I ain't there yet.
Man, you only 29 yet?
No. I'm not.
Man,
probably
you get
not
locked up
far.
like 5 times last year alone.
At least about 10 off.
So, but anyway, we put the mics in their face, and that changed it. Now you see the media will always meet them at the House of Assembly. They wouldn't do that before until we actually did that. And we actually challenged them. And they said, oh, we'll deal with it, they'll address it. I said, okay, if you all don't address it, we're going to Perry Christie House. And I guess they thought we were joking. That stuff that I see them doing in England and stuff, I saw them handcuff themselves to number 10 Downing Street. And I said, okay, let's do that.
Let's give it a shot.
And we went and handcuffed ourselves. We rigged the handcuffs so that you couldn't unlock them.
You learned that from your police days. Eh?
To rig the handcuffs?
Yeah.
No, my magician days. No, we just put glue and sand, and so the key can't open it. And so crazy glue and sand.
So how you planning getting up?
How you get on it?
They had to bring the jaws of life. Yeah. And so we locked ourselves this gate to make sure that they couldn't get us off. And it brought the attention. This was on...
Gate?
This was on Perry Christie's Gate. It was on BBC. It was on international news. It was all over the world.
So Lincoln.
And so after that, then they came to us. Before they were ignoring us, then they came and said, okay, please stop. We're gonna help them out. We're gonna send them to social services, and we're gonna solve this matter. You know what the solution was? They actually did take them to social services, and they said they're going to give them $80 per household per month. I said, you got to be crazy. And so we continued the fight.
Man, talk sense, man. $80.
$80 per month
household.
they offered them.
And
per household.
some people lost limbs, eh?
Some people lost limbs. Some children, so I think 6 children lost their mother. And so some people lost their life. And so that was the solution. And so we kept fighting. And Ingram actually made a statement about it. And now that tied him into the situation. And so what it did was it made them look bad. He invited see all the victims to one of his rallies. And he said this is how the PLP was supposed to care about people dealing with the children. Sorry, with the victims. Now, election came, Pericles lost, Ingram won, and time passed, and he did nothing, even though he used these people for that. And so we went to his office, and we had a protest at his office, and we basically, roughed up the place. And they had a picture in the headline of the Tribune with him running from me, which he's supposed to be a pit bull, but you could see him running from me.
What was who run under the bleachers?
That was Fred Mitchell. Yeah. But Ingram ran into the car and he slammed the door. But Ingram might have run from me. I was a pit bull running from a lion. But what he did was the next day.
Make that statement again, sir.
That was a pit bull running from a lion. So
and the lion you're referring to is
Lincoln Bain.
Okay. I just want to make sure I clear.
Yeah.
You're on the slow bus.
All right, let me hold on now. Hold on.
But I gotta say this part because I gotta give him credit. But what he did the next day, he settled the matter as he promised me he would do. He settled the matter and he gave a gratuitous payment to all of those persons. They got $1 million and all of their medical bills paid.
$1 million to share between them, or?
Yeah, to share.
Okay.
And all of their medical bills paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. You done heard this a million times. Let's jump in it. Let's jump head first.
So again, I already asked my question.
You can't trust Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust Lincoln.
He in it for the clout.
You can't trust Lincoln. Don't forget now, Lincoln. Mm-hmm. Remember Lincoln was F&M? Remember Lincoln was DNA? Mm-hmm. Only nigga says Lincoln. I mean, none of us can say Lincoln being PLP. He never been. He never was. He don't wear yellow tie.
They just say he wait for the PLP.
Yeah, right. They did say he wait for the PLP. There was a voice note that I heard, and we this Barbershop Talk, where there was a gathering of all the smaller political parties in the last election or somewhere around the last election. The third party options were coming together and supposed to be this come to Jesus meeting and create this one force that's supposed to, rescue the country, whatever the case is. And then out of that comes again, you can't trust Lincoln. Lincoln, you don't know where Lincoln is. Speak to all that. That's plenty.
Well, I can't speak to all of that, but I think that all of the Bahamian people that I've fought for over the years would say otherwise. Mm-hmm. I've fought for people against the most powerful people in this country.
Why you leave the F&M?
Well, I didn't really. I decided to join the F&M when Minnis came in. All right, Minnis came and made it look like he was going to be different. Mm-hmm. I had a meeting with him. I talked to him, and he looked like, okay, Perry and Ingram is gone. This could be a new thing, and there's going to be change. I'm not a lawyer. We want to do something different. I talked to him, and he started to implement some of the things I was saying in his speeches,
right?
And some of the things that I told him he actually did do when he got in government.
You were selling minutes hard to us,
like free education.
You came in the barbershop selling minutes hard to all us.
Yes, like free education and a lot of things that he did is what I told him to do. The money for entrepreneurs. Well, they did $5,000 when I was talking about real money, but the money for entrepreneurs, and there's a lot of things that they did that he got from me. And so I said, you know what, this man may be different. And even their manifesto was now supposed to be do a gathering of people, actual professionals in industry. So if you're doing the health manifesto, bring nurses in, bring doctors in.
You made a strong statement just now. Mm-hmm. You said he get them from you. Was it we behind closed doors, you gave these ideas, Prime Minister or leader opposition, we could do these, Mr. Leader, we could do these things, or were they like? I mean, because you make a strong decision, I'll make sure you clarify.
Some of them was documented, where particularly for national security, stuff that I recommend for national security was actually delivered to him. documented and some in email.
No, I get somewhere with this.
Yeah.
That's where I get with this. Because the talk at the exit of Dr. Minnis was, you can't talk to Minnis. Minnis don't listen. He don't take nobody ideas. It's only his way or the highway. They were the kind of things in the public domain concerning Minnis. But now what you're saying is a different narrative. Is it different or is it
in
the
the
same?
beginning when I was speaking to him, when I was looking at you know what, the country isn't going in the right direction.
Right.
Maybe I could bring my expertise, my knowledge of PR and my knowledge in different areas. Maybe I could bring that. Let me talk to him and see what's going on. So he seemed to be, amenable to a lot of things I was saying.
Okay.
And so, but I saw that change. All right. I saw where we had a big protest about what do you call it?
I mean, potential
the LOI.
change. I mean, potential change.
Yeah, potential change. I saw the LOI thing. We had a big protest. I was the one helping to organize that.
I remember.
That's with Renwood Wells. And there was a big protest. There was big row in the House of Assembly over it. They said it was corruption. We'll never let that go and this and that. And then a couple of weeks later, Minnis came to us and said, listen, I have to let Renwood Wells and Rollins come over to the party because Loretta them trying to overthrow me. And I said, no, you got to stand on principle, man. I said, you just stood up there and said the FNM will never let this go. You said it was corruption, and you made us go there in the hot sun and protest. And he said, yeah, but you got to understand, Paul, like sometimes you just got to do, is a means to the end. I said, no. I deal with principle. And I said, I'm not standing on that stage next to him. And he said, well, do what you got to do. He come in. He came. I told him, let them fire you. Let them vote you out. You stand on your principle. You still be leader of the party. And in the end, it still happened. But he didn't listen, and it was principle for me. And so
Let me say this though, Lincoln. Is there not hypocrisy in that? And hear me out.
yeah,
Don't we posture ourselves for the greater good? Don't we sometimes take one for the team for the greater good?
yes,
Like persons would align themselves with this group, and I even talk politics just on the whole, that I ain't really into this element of who Carlo is, but this right here, if I could partner with this, we could get some more things done. Is that necessarily a bad thing where the street term is that we take one for the team, but the end result, the end can justify the means?
I didn't think that was a situation where you had to take one for the team, because he still ended up right back to what I was telling him. I told him, if they want to vote you out, let them vote you out. You'll still be leader of the party. That
Right.
still ended up happening.
Right.
And I was telling him to stand on principle. Remember, this was just my advice.
Right.
I wasn't forcing him to do anything. I was just telling him what I would do, because he was
Right.
asking for my advice.
Right.
And so I was giving him my advice that, listen, you can't this week say that this man is corrupt, this situation is corrupt, you'll never let this go. And then a couple weeks later, I want this man, who I just said was corrupt, to come over. I said, that's going to show that you're going to be corrupt when you get in. And that's what I saw when he got in.
Yeah.
All right? So I stood on principle on that.
I mean, just say
Next
you
thing
give
I
him
know-
good advice, because that was a problem for all of us.
Yeah.
I can be honest. I mean, when that happened,
Yeah.
man, we thought we had a bull inside here, a bulldog who wasn't afraid. And then when he did that thing, that broke a lot of people. Honestly, that was a big deal. That you brought it back up again, and it took me back to those memories. We had conversations in the barbershop about that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
But did it work for him, though?
Obviously
No, it
not.
didn't.
No, it didn't. No.
He lost an election.
No. He won the election in spite of that, because people just wanted Perry gone.
I think
Yeah.
that was his point. I think
I don't think
he realized, but then you got to figure what's going on inside there too. Sometimes you might
I
need.
think the PR of the PLP was horrible.
Yeah, at that time.
I think the PR was horrible
No, Tito-
because nobody remembered. I think people didn't remember that. That wasn't put out there. Let me just parenthetically say this. Listen, we have had, forget bad policies, bad this, bad that. I feel like the PR teams of all of the last 5 administrations need to be all hung out to dry, because they've been horrible. Make sure to fix a good PR team, please.
I don't think they think it's important.
We do horrible PR.
I don't think they think it's important.
Like what are y'all doing? In both in the last 4 or so elections, I'd be like, this, and it speaks to where do you think our intellectual level is? Where do you think our ability to look at information? It made me think that you really think that we really slow.
Yeah.
You think that we really backward. The things that you put in our face, see this, see that. You really believe we that? I trying to use bad words to say. You think we that stupid?
Mm.
You think that's the kind of bait that we can bite onto
But
to say, okay, we gave it you now. Because
But they've been doing it for the last 52 years, though.
Oh, wow, we just got another raise. Okay, yeah, we gave it that.
Yeah, and they do the same thing over and over, and they get away with it.
I'm like, man, you ain't gonna feed us some more substantive. And in every instance, all political parties have done, all the future administration, past administrations have done a lot of nonsense, but I've done some good.
Yeah,
some good things
and they
that they don't even talk about.
No,
some fundamental things that they would have done.
I mean, they were so crazy, Pastor. Do it in my area. Once to run again.
But you are doing it in your area,
right?
But you used to go after do it.
Do it and do nothing.
Who's to do it in the area?
You know what do it as?
Who?
National Security.
National Security.
Ian Monroe.
Okay.
Minister Ian Monroe. MP Ian Monroe. He ain't do nothing.
Nothing?
Like 5 years.
Can't say he ain't do nothing, man, Tito, man.
What he do?
I don't live in your area. I don't know what he do.
He was on the news trying to fight crime, I guess. Right? But what make you believe you so cocky that you can come back, you ain't do nothing, and run again? So what you could tell me the second time around? But you ain't do nothing the last time. I ain't see win. For me, I see win.
Mm.
I wait for the people to come knock on my door. I want to know what they can tell me.
We personally believe, Lincoln, just for the sake of bringing you in fully in this conversation, we believe that Mr. Bethel began to take umbrage with Mr. Monroe
Stop coming to
because Mr. Monroe used to frequent the barbershop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I know that.
And then he stopped.
Yeah.
And I believe that's
a bad move.
We
though.
believe that's what fueled a lot of this vitriol that we're hearing from.
That's
Mr.
kind of
Bethel.
petty, though. Bit.
We believe it that it is. There's a whole lot of
You
pettiness.
don't have to assume. You got to ask him. Tito is very straightforward, and he don't lie.
He's a very petty man.
I don't know Tito to lie, though.
I ain't gonna lie.
Tito, you mad because he don't come to...
It was in his best interest to continue to come. Seeing that I have a lot of clients.
Do you
if I have over
do you
350
agree with my
clients,
point now, Mr. Bethel?
I'm in your area. Nice barbershop, you know. You can sit there, drink coffee, have a good time. You can pump fake in there. There's a place you can pump fake. You don't come there and get your haircut. That's only wisdom. That's showing me you ain't even smart. Ain't much barbershop in our area, you know. You got Camerons, you got me, you got, well, I get me on the next end of the Camp Road. One or two in the middle.
Yeah, that's bad of Rain
The least you could do is be smart.
I just glad, Lincoln, that you're not running in his area. And
Well,
you're not
every so
going
often I come to get my haircut with him.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, when
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't abandon him.
He doing better, man.
I doing better than Wayne.
Wow. And you even running that area?
Only him and Kenyatta touch my hair.
Wow. This is powerful. So you used to go to him when Kenyatta ain't out of town?
When
See now,
Kenyatta
Pastor,
in
you
town,
do
I'm out
the,
of
you got
town.
the pastor. He's sucking you in.
In and out of town.
You go when Kenyatta's be in town. You just go to Tito?
Yes. The two of them.
Kenyatta know that?
The two of them is my boys. Yeah, you know that.
Kenyatta, you know that?
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah, play pastor, you going down the road. You ain't down the road alone.
Use your knee, use them.
That is a petty pastor.
All right, let's. I mean, I hear there. You pass with DNA as well.
Yes, I actually when I decided that I would run against, because the first time I supported Minnis in his first convention,
Right.
The second convention after that thing with the LOI, on principle, I said, no, this man, he's corrupt, because those actions were corrupt to me. And so I actually campaigned against him, knowing that I would probably lose the ratification that I did have. I didn't care at that point. I always stand on principle.
You already ratified?
Yes. I wasn't ratified by the council, but the executives already presented me to
Gotcha.
the public as ratified. The council is the last step.
Gotcha.
All right? And so I knew that would mess it up, but I said, no. I'm going to stand on principle, and that's what I do, and that's what I did. And afterwards, I decided to walk away. When he won, I walked away. They picked someone else for the area, and I was going independent. And all of the executives from the constituency came with me in Pinewood. And Brian reached out to me, and he said, why go by yourself? We have old machinery. Come
Right.
work together, work with
Right.
us. Our generation can fight this. Come help me do this. I said, okay, Brian stood on principle too, just like I did. All right, let me see how we could work
Right.
together. And that's how I ended up there. Once Brian decided he wasn't running anymore, I met with Komalafe to see what her vision was for the party and for the country. I don't just follow leaders. You have to sit with me. I have to see what your vision is.
Right.
And when she was kind of cagey. One, she didn't want to meet. And then when I did talk to her, it's like she didn't have a vision for the future. And I was like, maybe she doesn't really intend to lead. But whatever it was, I said, no, I can't follow someone who doesn't have a vision for the country.
Right.
And so that's when I decided that I would leave politics alone and I would go my own way.
All right.
And so
there wasn't no fallout. I mean, I've never heard anything, but there was no fallout.
No,
you just,
DNA, no.
No, just
Brian left.
the vision didn't pull you in.
Komalafe didn't have the vision, so I decided that I would leave politics alone, and I was going to focus on my private stuff, and I was actually going to leave the country until all that stuff with Human Evolution came up, the natural resources and that.
Right. I know we can't take your whole night. I mean, because take you 7 weeks to get here. So I
only want to ask my 2 questions.
Yeah. So let me because I want to walk this. If we had more time, I want to walk through the whole journey and give people the chance to weigh in on the conversation. And it's time for the lines yet? No, I ain't open the lines yet. We can just talk. There's so much things we want to get to.
Ask my
so
question now.
Go ahead. Go.
First question tonight. You think you can get your money back this time and buy what?
Well, I got my money back last time.
You did?
Yes.
We told you that, but you didn't want to listen to us.
I got my money back.
We told you that.
Oh, that's good, but
you don't wanna listen.
I thought you could get your money back. You think you can win this time because you still get slaughtered?
No, I think we're going to. No, I don't think it was a slaughter. I think
How much
that
you gonna be back?
people really wanted Menace gone, and people voted for that. I think that we're going to win it this time based on what I'm seeing on the ground.
Win what?
And we're going to win Pinewood, and we're gonna actually win the country. We're going to win this election. I believe that. But he was asking me about Pinewood.
I can jump in. I can jump in right there, Link.
Hold on, damn. When
Hold on. Before you go there, I can ask this, then you jump in. I want to ask this question. This
Yeah.
this my thing to my brother Lincoln.
Yes.
And honestly, I was hoping one of them days to meet you. Can I say this publicly? This is my brother, so we talking this. I was bothered. And what's I bothered by? I saying to myself, both last time and this time, why Lincoln don't focus in on 5 seats?
Mm-hmm.
Put your resources, your energy, put your whole machinery,
The whole fest.
put everything on 5 seats. And let's grab some in there and then build from there. Why game for the whole hog to Lincoln? Why don't we you are more
That's a good question.
You are more proverbial than I can ever be. You get proverbs, you got these deep quotes. I ain't gonna play them. I ain't smart like you, I was never smart like you. But there are a million proverbs to tell us, man, about that journey that begins with these smaller steps and then you go to the bigger. Why not? And every show I do on this show, every show I've done on this radio station, I have said this. I want Lincoln
in the house.
In
We
the
agree.
house.
That's
I said
one thing we agree
all
with.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time from the last election, from the one before, when he wasn't even running. When he was in Barbershop, I said, man,
Just
we
break it
need
up.
this
Let him
boy
down.
in the House of Assembly.
No one gets
I
lied.
just want him to be there and disrupt this operation, turn this ship upside down. I said, ship, y'all. I was fighting that. I had to make sure they wouldn't forever. See all I've been your champion when you didn't even know. I was pushing that in circles. I wanna, boy. That's when when you sitting down with your gun on your lap. I say, that's what you want in the house. I said, yeah, I want him in the house with the gun on your lap. I said, no, I ain't want the gun in the house, right? But I want him in the house. Why run all these candidates? We know you know more than we know of the cost of the energy, of the machinery. Why stretch yourself? Let me give you a scripture. Strengthen the things that remain. Why not strengthen the things that remain rather than stretch and grab all these things one time?
Well, first of all, you mentioned the cost. I think that all of you know me on a private level, and I don't think you've ever known me to have an issue with getting money to do a vision.
Sure.
All right? I've never had a problem with money or finances. You all know me personally.
Right.
All right? You all are people out there. And so that has never been an issue. If I have a dream and I want to do that, the money is there. All right? You know that from I was a teenager. So I don't worry about money because money follows vision. Vision doesn't follow money. That's the first thing. The next thing is you don't know which 5 to focus on. You don't know what's in the minds of the people. no one thought that Perry Christie could lose his seat. Why would ministers focus on that seat? No one thought Shane Gibson or B. Wilchcombe. How could they lose their seats to the people they ran against? That makes no sense. But when the people are fed up, you have to give them an opportunity. And the first thing is they won't give you that opportunity if they don't feel you will be government. People want to feel that you can actually win this. And they don't want to feel like I could vote for you. You could just be an independent and what you could do for me.
I think it's a catch-22
They
though,
want to
Lincoln.
feel I understand that, but
them
see,
feeling about you, because I think
Jesus' disciples were fishermen.
I know he's cool.
When you when you're catching a fish, you cast the net. All right, you cast the net. You know which fish you get. You just cast the
Right.
net and you pull that in.
The
all
book
right,
says so in the day and in the night, because you don't know which one can get harvest.
yes,
I got you.
That's what Solomon
I got
said.
you. Right.
But I want to tell you that
Go ahead.
I believe that this is a move of God in this time.
Right.
I'm not doing this for me. I have no ambition to be prime minister. You all know me from I was a boy. You've never heard me saying I won't be prime minister. Not once. All right? I would argue on principles, on religion and that kind of stuff, but you never heard me once saying I won't be prime minister. You all know me personally. All right? So this is not an ambition for me. But I believe that at this time God wants
It's a cause,
something. It's a
cause.
it is a cause.
Yeah.
And it's a cause and it has a cost.
Right.
I believe that God wants something different for his people at this time. I
Right.
believe that God gave me miraculously that information about the natural resources because he is ready for a shift at this time.
with
The
you.
way that came to me, people say I'm smart. Not that smart. The documents came to me from the people in the mining industry. The people who had the most to lose said they feel God pricked their heart. The man said, Lincoln, I'm an old man now, and I feel guilty for how much money I've made off of what belongs to the Bahamian people. He said, take these documents and show this to them, and they're going to rise up and take what is theirs. I said, you don't know Bahamians. He said, well, if they want to be fooled and let the same people make all the money of what belongs to them, then it's on them. My conscience clear. That's what the man said to me. And so I feel that God led all this to happen to open the eyes of his people in this day so that we can have a dispensation of empowerment, that we, the country that has his name in our constitution,
Right.
can be a remnant for him because we love him and we can be empowered. Just like the children of Israel were empowered, we are going to be empowered in this day. We're going to own this land finally. And I believe, I don't know why, that is what he is setting up this place for. And that's my only ambition, to obey him by empowering Bahamians. That's the honest to God truth.
I don't disagree with that. I think I told you in passing, and I don't think you ever got the message. Right, one day in the barbershop, I told you, I sent you a message, and it was almost, and I'm not trying to celebrate Denczil, but it's almost word for word what you said just now.
Wow.
Really, seriously, about me believing the time that we're in, and this is actually around the time of the last election, around that same season. So I agree 1,000,000,000% with the general thought that you just espoused. Totally agree with it. I still hold on to my thing about the strategy, though, about whether the strategy, whether it be better served. Your ears are always on the ground. Your ears on the ground, and that more than most politicians we've seen in the country. The talk has been in a lot of cases, well, definitely in the last election. And I'm not insulting because I have friends who've run, persons who I know, I shouldn't say friends, but acquaintances that have ran alongside you in the last election. But persons have said, man, who are these people is who Lincoln find? Who are these people? Who are these people? And I think that conversation is starting to come again. Who are these people? And speak to that. Speak
Great.
to these people.
Great point. I love that. You know,
Because that question's out there. It's out there a lot.
Yeah.
We,
And
so,
so-
I feel like some of them is fillers.
who these people is?
right. So every political party has fillers. We don't. All
Right.
right. We are tired of getting swing every election.
Right.
Denczil, every election they come with this dream team and they say this one is so qualified, that one is so qualified. Then after election and you see how incompetent these people are, you'd be like, well, where the... Okay, we got Wayne Monroe. He's the Minister of National Security. He's going to get crime under control. He's a smart man. Now crime is out of control. You'd be like, what happened to...
Right.
The problem is they can't do anything without permission of the party. And they can only do what the party lets them do. So it doesn't matter who the candidate is. I hear people say you vote for the candidate. It doesn't matter who the candidate is. They can only do what the party tells them they can do, and they can't touch nothing else. And we experience this every time, and we still fall for the candidate trick. The candidates do not have a mind of their own. They must do what is the party's agenda. And that's it. And the party's agenda is always what the finances of the party wants, the oligarchs. And it's time to change that. So the people that we've brought to you are very qualified persons.
Lincoln.
Let's go.
Qualified or passionate?
Lincoln.
Let me give you. Let me start with some examples.
No,
Qualified
don't
or
call no names.
passionate?
Don't call no names yet. Don't call no names yet.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I know one of your people is my brethren, my boy. Used to be a part of our church for several years as well. That's my brother, William Knowles. You know, they're a friend of ours.
He's extremely qualified.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. So I said, you ain't call no names. I know
Yeah.
that name alone, you know, carries weight, all kind of weight in my church and in my personal life. No will. Great guy. That what I about to ask. What I'm about to say is this: you said about these other political organizations, these oligarchs or these supreme powers, these what you call it? What was the thing go with? What was going?
Smoker's room.
No. The competent authority. That you have these competent authorities, these oligarchs set up in these different powers, these different parties. Are you sitting here trying to tell us and tell the Bain people who are listening that if Lincoln Bain is prime minister of the country, that the dominating voice will not be Lincoln Bain as prime minister?
So you're saying he wouldn't bend the knee?
That's an easy question. Our role is to take power away from the politician and give it to the people. And our policies
that's all.
line up with that.
Lincoln, we
That's
see
all.
Let
you
me
as
show
the
you.
consummate alpha. You define yourself early in the show
I am-
as the lion that chased a dog.
Okay,
The lion don't give up no power.
And I even going to give up, but I'm saying
not a dog, a pit bull.
a pit bull. Sorry,
Yeah.
you said pit bull.
Yeah.
Not a dog with pit bull. And that's the difference.
Definitely.
that a pit bull ran from the lion. What I'm saying is, I am struggling with this idea that there will be competing voices with Lincoln, and this is I call a name that I respect greatly that walks with you.
One of our candidates. Yeah.
One of your candidates, you know, and I say walk with you. I saw him literally walking with you, you know.
And all of them are just like him.
That there will be. Could we see in the COI what happened to Menace when that crew say, "But Menace, you gone," and Menace was leader of the party, but he was no longer the leader in the House. Could we see that with a Lincoln Bain and the COI?
Before you go there, I want to address your thing of me being an alpha.
Oh, that's all
Right?
that tied together.
Yeah,
All
it's
the time
tied
together.
But we'll get
All the time together, yeah.
make sure I don't leave nothing
don't
out.
make no
Yeah,
mistake.
all that. I want to get all that.
On this show,
And I want to make it official, and you know this, and
Yeah.
we all brothers here, and he knows this, that we're asking what we are hearing, and we ain't coming to sugarcoat. We come to talk, and we want to say what we've been hearing out there.
And you know I don't expect
want
you to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if
So-
that's the case, we wouldn't be here.
yeah. And so the advantage I have on this show is I'm dealing with men who know me from I was a boy.
Right.
So I can't run around anything with y'all.
Sure.
Y'all know me.
Right.
All right. One thing you know about me is I've always been about empowering others. That's one thing you will always know about me. When I had the experience to go to China, I went to China. Tito and them was supposed to go with me on the initial trip. They got scared because of SARS and bird flu and that kind of stuff. I still went
I
because
would've come if you'd
I'm
called me.
courageous.
I would have come if you'd called me.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
He came back
Um,
alive, so he
then-
gone second time.
Yeah.
And so I went there, had an amazing trip. I learned a lot about China. I came back alive. And so I decided to share that with other people. I didn't keep that to myself. Many persons, people don't want to give their hookup.
I'm
Many
about to be petty a
persons-
second. I gotta be petty. I'm put this comment on here. With all respect to Mr. Sherman Darling, who comments, and I'm putting a comment out here. Excuse me, brother. Let Bain talk. You are talking too much. Bain, if you can be leader, let no man put words in your mouth. Brother Darling, we welcome you to this show. This is Barbershop Talk, and there's a culture that we have in Barbershop Talk, how we function. And Mr. Bain is very much aware of how we function here. And so I just want you to know that we ain't ducking your comment. I want you to know that we saw your comment, and we're going to do Barbershop Talk the way we do Barbershop Talk. All right, and Mr. Bain is very well aware of that. But we encourage you to keep on listening, and hopefully you listen even when Mr. Bain is not here. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, Barbershop Talk is not more of an interview with a back and forth. It's more of a discussion.
Absolutely.
Now, I know Carlo is more quiet today for whatever reason. He's allowed to come out.
Listen,
listen,
Denczil in his glory.
but it's
I get
more like
messages
it's
now
more like
saying
the
I
voice.
say that, but Denczil in his glory, he don't really talk much. I let him
Yeah,
do
he in
bands
his
up.
glory. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's more like the voice where everyone talks and have what
You
they
give
have
me a
to
cup
say.
of
Now you full run. Carlos said from the beginning, he ain't talking the show. So
Yeah.
now,
No.
now you make me call him out.
No.
He said from the beginning,
I
he
said,
ain't talking.
Why you
You give
shame
me a
my
cup of
boy?
coffee.
No, because now you won't call me
I'm
out.
not gonna
He
go
say
coffee.
he talking.
Now you want-
He say just don't
You ain't
mention
doing
certain
nothing.
people.
No.
That's what I said.
You heard.
No.
Oh, okay.
We were in another room.
No.
Ah.
Come on,
Don't
give me a cup
now
of
you will
coffee.
call me
I
out.
don't have no
Carlos
coffee.
scared.
Now you call me saying I in my glory.
First of all,
I don't want my
Lincoln.
show to collapse.
Now,
I don't want this show to be
No.
that people say, boy, Lincoln is up here preaching.
Now,
I try
Lincoln,
to engage Lincoln in the
You
conversation.
know
He didn't
better
say-
than to say I scared.
You see,
Now,
you
know
know
better.
what?
I know that.
Now,
Hold on,
Denczil,
stop
Denczil-
it.
What?
He
Say
said,
Carlo behave.
I said
But
that.
they can call you though. You go out
I
to know.
ain't never
I saw
talked
people
about
that you know.
I have never talked this much in the show ever.
Wow.
Never
Thank
talked
you
this
so
much.
When I go on to say
I was
something,
forced to-
Denczil say, hold on.
Stop it, Carlo.
But
Stop it, Carlo.
Do it. Do
He's
something.
butting though. He's butting. All I
Every
he got
time.
a button.
I read Smoke Please show. I read play that video back. I read the button and say, hold on. Wait.
I never
got
saw people
something.
before.
But Denczil never talk this much.
Lincoln,
It's
I
usually
ask you no
being
more
short.
questions. Watch. No problem.
No. I need
I ain't
you.
saying nothing else.
I need you.
Go ahead.
All right. So
Bunch of dead fellas out here.
Only in one box. He's scared.
Yeah. No. But I want to say this.
Please answer
You know me.
Right.
I've always been about empowering other people. I took people to China. I could have kept that to myself.
Sure.
I took people. I empowered them. I gave lessons on what to do over there. I went into business. Been very successful in business, as you know. And I had business boot camps. All right, I started to teach other people how to do business. Even as I was making money online, I said, I can't keep this to myself. I started having online business boot camps. I've educated thousands of Bahamians over the years. All right, and so I don't keep things to myself. This knowledge that we now have, before where I was empowering people to cut out the middleman, go to China for yourself, get business, and a lot of people have told me that changed their life. All right. I've done business boot camps and other boot camps. I've educated and trained a lot of people over the years, even down to trading, forex and
I forget you straight, you know.
Bitcoin and stocks, etc.
right.
I gave this knowledge because if that's what I do and I make money, I give it to other people.
So you think you'll
There's
still be in a
other
position to
people
do that as the leader of the country?
to do. So what I want to say is that if that was my nature and what I've always been doing, as you know, now I have an opportunity to empower this entire nation, to empower a people that we can benefit from our sovereign wealth fund, and we can all rise together, the entire nation.
But it's easy to
And
say
so-
that. It's easy to say that from sitting on the outside without the power. But now you in the position of power as leader of the country. You still think you will have the same mindset?
Yes.
Unequivocally.
I think one thing that y'all know, Tito know me better than even y'all, I ain't never change. I'm the same person I've always been. I've always been about ideas, plans, getting stuff done. I'm about going to the club. Y'all was my boys. Y'all never ever me going to the club and doing those kind of things, but drinking and nothing.
No.
I was only about positive things, all right, my whole life. And so it was about empowering other people. And so now it is going to be about empowering
You can't do that without
the
politics.
nation.
Can you do that without sitting in the chair?
There's certain things you can do. One
Yeah.
of the things that pushed me to get here, right,
Can you say something?
was when we discovered all this natural resources stuff and we started giving it to the politicians. We did Vision 2025. That wasn't a political thing for us. That was a document we put together to give to the politicians to say, hey, this is how we can benefit from our natural resources and empower all people. And we noticed that they started pushing back. They started fighting us. We tabled a bill in the House for all Bahamians to benefit from the aragonite. That was miraculously tabled in the House. But we noticed the F&M fought it. They fought against it. And so when we were going to do this big thing on Oran Bailey Park, this big rally, they came and locked me up. All right? For no reason. They just imagined some charge. Like, what you lock up for? We can figure out something. They imagined some charge. They bring up some fake charge just to lock me up to think that would discourage other people from coming. That had the reverse effect. More people came out. And as I was in my jail cell with a fellow who looked like he was out of his mind, he was telling me, say, no, you are. you fighting for the people, you educating the people, and something got to happen, something got to give. And he encouraged me to go for it.
What's your end game?
His thing to me was, how are you going to make the change without the pen? A crazy man told me that.
Without the pen.
Without the pen. How are you going to make the change without the pen?
Good question.
And right there, I had a premonition as I was sitting in that jail cell of the Arab Spring all over Arabia. Because we always give examples of the Arabian countries that empower their people. And have all these sheiks, and they made all their citizens millionaires.
Yeah.
Right? And so I look at the Arab Spring, and then I realize that 10 years later, all of the countries that did the Arab Spring, where they overthrew the government and put the opposition in, all of them are worse today than they were during the Arab Spring. Worse. Because the government who came in said, boy, we ain't letting these people do that no more. We can mash up media, we can lock up all the activists, we can break up everything, and we can take everyone power. And now it's worse. But the countries where the activists went into government, that's the countries that are doing better now. That's the
What's
countries.
the example? Which countries today?
Libya did better at that time until, of course, Gaddafi went in the wrong direction, meaning died.
I was going to say what the wrong direction was.
Yeah. Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, which includes Dubai. So these countries empowered their people. They went from developing nation to developed nation, and the only thing they did different than all of us,
It's empower the activists.
empower their people. No, the activists went in. Qatar is an amazing story. The activist actually was the prince. All right? He realized that everyone could be rich. The Qatar was poor, and people were dying on the streets of starvation. That's a horrible death to die. And they had no education, no hospitals, no nothing. They found oil. And all of a sudden, the royal family was rich. And the son was like, Dad, we have enough money for everyone to be wealthy. Why don't we share this wealth with everyone? Why are the people poor? He's like, son, this is just the way it's supposed to be. The few will provide jobs to the rest, and that's how it's supposed to be. He's like, no, that's not fair. Look at all this money we have. He's like, boy, shut up. And then they were going on a family vacation. And the son said, I can stand on principle. I'm not going to go on a vacation, spend all this money while people here dying of starvation in the streets. And so his dad was like, okay, you stupid boy, you stay here. We're going to have fun. And they went on vacation. And while they went on vacation, he decided to open the eyes of the civil servants. And he went to the civil servants and he said, listen, all of us in this country can be wealthy. Remember, they didn't even have 50,000 people yet. All right? He said, all of us can be wealthy. There's enough money for everyone to be a millionaire. And they're like, boy, he's selling dreams. This crazy boy. I see why your daddy leave you. Makes no sense. And he tried to convince them until the dad was almost time to come back. And he had to do something. And so what he did was he went and got the books. He's a royal, so they couldn't deny him the books. He got the books that the royal family used to keep secret, and he took it to them and said, look at this. And everyone was like, that's the money we got in this country? And so the dad came back, and there was a bloodless coup. The dad was like, son, how could you do this to me? He said, Dad, you could see. Within a year, everyone was wealthy. Everyone was millionaires. They had all the questions we had. You know, they was like, oh, if everyone gets wealthy, who's going to work?
Right.
You know, people are gonna just squander their money. People can start doing drugs and getting prostitutes, and they had all these conversations. No, but that didn't happen. What really happened was people started doing what they love. You were able to empower the people because that one young man, and a year after that, his dad came to him and said, young man, thank you for overthrowing me.
Yeah.
This whole nation is better. And so that's the kind of vision I have for this country, that we can empower everyone. They've taught us that we're not supposed to have nothing. We're supposed to be servants. They educated us that in school. Get an education, get a good job,
Right.
and live the Bahamian dream, which is a government job, a Honda with rims, and a low-cost home from them. No. There's enough natural resources for all of us to have something, and it sounds crazy to some people. But when Randall Fox was fighting, telling people, oh, we can govern ourselves. It doesn't have to be a white man governing
Right,
us.
right.
It doesn't have to be a foreigner governing us. He sounded crazy. They're like, man, you selling dreams, man. What is nonsense you
Let
talking
me
about?
ask you a
So you think it's the
question again.
message or it's the messenger?
I think anytime there's change, people take a while to catch on to it. That's human nature. Anytime there's change, it takes time. And so you just have to have someone willing to pay the price because freedom isn't free. I'm willing to pay that price. I've done jail time. I've slept on urine-stained floors with feces smeared on the wall because I was fighting to protect this country and to empower Bahamians. I did my time. I had to pay for that. Someone has to pay, and I paid. And so we believe that eventually the people are going to catch on. There's never change without someone being arrested. Finland was arrested. Marlo Butler was arrested.
I want to speak that, Lincoln. Are you ready for the elephant in the room? The real elephant?
What's the real elephant?
I was given a truth because I was passionate about going in there when I was offered getting this little seat again. I was passionate about making some changes, and I did make some changes, right? But the elephant in the room was the person said to me, Tito, I'm telling you, it's the people. It's the people in the organization. I said, can't be. Can't be. I learned that the hard way. People say they want change, but what happens when Lincoln get into the room? He's now prime minister. And you realize that people say they want change, but they ain't really want change. The people around you who pretended to be there with you, like Pastor say, all of a sudden now, here comes the challenge in the room. Because now we in the room, we go in. I finally hear. What you do when the truth really slap you? Will you still be that Lincoln?
Who are you talking about? The people, the civil servants?
Everyone. The people who around with you.
Let's start with that one. Let's start with that one. The one who what you got off there. Let's start off. How do you one of the major bottlenecks in the country happens somewhere in the public service. One of them. I'm saying there's only one, but one of them is in the public service. How do you see how you uncorrect that?
Because that was my truth. Them saying public servants.
you end your streaming.
I don't know how I did that.
I like that, Pastor. Because I ain't gonna lie, it's them same set.
How you start it back?
Okay, let me just start it back.
It's Lincoln being willing to cut the throats, to roll it out.
And while he said another thing, I want to say this. We know that there are good public servants. There's amazing public servants.
Mm-hmm.
So we ain't going to talk about that. We know that there are some amazing public servants
who's there the work done.
Who there and getting the things done. So let's establish that.
Right.
What we can do with all these bottlenecks?
Mm-hmm. The other set.
Right.
Who just got a job? Who fluff ain't coming through?
What we can do?
Are you willing to fire them and send them home?
Tito, there's a saying, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's false.
Mm-hmm.
Can make him drink. You run him up and down enough, or you let him run up and down enough, he's going to come to the water. You don't have to lead him to the water at that point. I think that once the people have suffered enough and they have hope, and they actually have hope that they're going to want something different. Every nation goes through this, People wanted ministers to do different. They had hope in ministers,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They actually had hope in Brave, too.
I think
Brave said it was a new day.
Person were very, very excited about a non-lawyer.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so there was hope.
But that goes to show that goes right back to Tito's point, right?
Hold on, let me finish answering the question first before we go on to something else.
Yeah.
All right? And so I believe that the people are ready for a change.
I just saw Lincoln does not.
Why?
You say your voice changed? That's Lincoln.
Why?
That's why I want to Lincoln without the suit.
Why? Why I know that they're ready is when a couple of years ago when the immigration department came to me.
Right.
And they said a bunch of foolishness happening in immigration, and we could lose our country if we don't do something. And they started giving me documents for me to put out there. That was the immigration officers. People say, "Oh, they corrupt." No. It's the leaders forcing them. They could show me documents saying the minister made me do this. This is unlawful, but the minister made me do this. They actually documented that. The people in our country want our country to run right. The civil servants want it to run right. But the problem is, with the civil service, as you was talking about, the politicians clog up the civil servants with their people who could do their wicked bidding for them to make money and use contracts to steal money from the treasury.
Right.
That's how they take money, legally, by taking it from the treasury. And so that's how they clog the system. Then there's a hopelessness. The civil servants are like, man, you can't get nothing done around here. They force you to do whatever. Man, I might as well participate. And they'd have no hope. Who you complain to? But if they know that they can be promoted because of their merit, they can have great ideas and their ideas be pushed, and that this can operate properly, I think that Bahamians are ready for that change. Now, Tito, you know that I am a
I want to see if you can cut some of the throat.
I am a strong man. You could answer that question yourself. All right? I am a strong man. If I could stand up to Minister and tell him, I don't agree, you put me here as one of your inner circle advisors, what you're doing is wrong, I ain't standing for that, and I will campaign against you in the convention if you do that. And if I am willing to do that, then you know. You all know me.
But watch this though, Lincoln. Champion for the people you are the champion for the people now. You that fella in that movie with The Rock. The people them champion. But we have not heard the language that you just spoke just now.
No.
Right? We know that Lincoln. We know that Lincoln who can call, and mind you, the people do as well, but that has not been a part of the conversation, of the narrative. What happens at the end of day 65 as Lincoln is prime minister, and now Lincoln say, okay, now, no. Hold on. My things ain't moving. These policies ain't happening where they need to be happening. And Lincoln says, now, head's about to rule. If this don't happen in the next 15 days, and we know Lincoln, if the system says it can happen in 45 days, Lincoln, we know can say, I want this done by the end of the day. Because we,
end of the week.
Yeah, if it say 45 days, Lincoln can say, no, I need this done. I traveling on Thursday, this needs to be done before I hit the plane. When heads gonna have to roll and then they say Lincoln change, what do you say, or do you see that narrative happening? Because I believe that one of the reasons that we have not had good leaders is because we have had more politicians than leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, politicians don't make good leaders.
And some of them, they hard soft.
I ain't even
Yeah,
getting
some of
no
them
hard
hard
soft. I gain.
Let me-
No, some of them
vote.
they hard soft.
I need to win the vote. I need to win the vote. I think the best prime minister for the country and this outside of Lincoln Bain is the prime minister. No, seriously, is the prime minister who says, I got 5 years. I ain't trying to be a politician.
Because you know what I mean.
I in here for 5 years.
You come to do what you have to
And
do.
I won't fix this. I won't fix some things in the system. I think that's the one that's going to get some real change. I'm not the one who wants to be a career politician.
Yeah. And I think you definitely know that that's me, because it was never my ambition to be a politician, that you all know me from I was a boy. But we have to get real. The reason there's no crime in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and these other countries, is the reason there's no crime, And it's not law enforcement. In Dubai right now, some stores, the only way you know it's open or closed is if you see a person there or if you don't see a person in there. There's no door. You can just walk in, take everything you want, and just walk off, but no one will do that. All right? Do you know why? No one wants to mess up a good thing. And once we get in power and they see that we start delivering what we offered, because immediately everyone get in their crown land. Immediately, from week one. They can say, what, these people serious? You register, you get your crown land. And once they see we deliver on that, no one going to want to mess that up. It's like the clean bathroom. When you go in the clean bathroom, you ain't going to want to be the one to tinkle on the seat and mess it up. But if you go in there that dirty, yeah, you'll leave that dirty.
Right.
All right? And that's why these countries have no crime. Once they start to see we deliver, when we say, bam, from the first week, crown land, all right? The next month, all water is free. We know how much it costs to give you free water, $75 million, all right? And the next week, we give you your other benefit.
All water is free?
For personal use, not for business. Water to your house will be free up to a certain amount, which is more than you need to use.
I never heard
All
of
right? Yes, that's what we've said.
How we pay for that?
All right? It's $75 million. We can pay for that now. We have so much wastage, consultants and all this other stuff. We can pay for that now. It's water, my brother. All you need is to stop paying third parties, middlemen, to create water, and let's start doing the water ourselves again. Cut out the middleman, like
consolidated together.
Traore is doing,
Yeah.
and Abraham Traore is doing. Cut out the middleman. Just reverse osmosis. Come desalination. Just do that and give the people their water. Water is a human right. All right? We know how much it costs to do that. When we start delivering on all these stuff, including free electricity because we go in solar, all right, and hydro. And so once we deliver on these things, who gonna want to mess it up? And then when you start getting your yearly check.
So in your first year, you see free water.
Yes, definitely.
everybody the crown land is easy. And it's crazy to say that.
It doesn't cost us anything.
I was saying it's so crazy to say this that the crown land is easier. That's really a stroke of a pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 4 million acres of crown land. Some 500,000 of it is wetland, so about 3.5. But anyway, 4 million acres, and so it's 200,000 Bahamian adults. So that doesn't touch the inventory to give every Bahamian crown land in an island where they descend
And
from.
your proposal was an acre per person?
Yes, up to an acre per person.
Okay.
All right, because some people might want less than an acre. They may say, I only want to put a house on there.
Right.
Yeah, so it's up to them. They say, give me a half acre, 100 by 100,
Right.
and I'm good. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll get them out.
So in Dubai, they give you half acre,
What?
100 by 100.
Let me I can get back to these.
now.
I can get back to these. No, I can get back to these plans. I was thinking the other day about you, and I said, boy, people will call Lincoln crazy, and I said, I had to ask this question: why are you putting out all your plans so somebody else can teach them?
We have no problem with them teething it. If it's going to benefit the people, it don't belong to me. This is an
Still
idea.
win.
This is an idea that God gave, that God inspired me with. We still win. If they give us I wouldn't be doing this.
Lincoln Bain is telling the Bahamian people, and you said it before, and again, I'm doing this. I know your answer is going to be in some of these things, but Lincoln Bain is telling us that if all of these plans that he has, if they are implemented by PLP, FNM, DNA,
Whoever.
CCP,
Yeah.
Lincoln be like, okay, no problem.
We win.
We good.
We win.
Still win.
The government comes and gives every Bahamian adult crown land. We win.
Yeah.
Say, thank you. Good job.
Lincoln's ambition is not to be prime minister, but to see the country changed.
Yeah.
And so if the country gets in the right direction, and I am prime minister, that's fine.
Yeah. And you all know that. I never talk about being prime minister. That's never been my ambition.
It's powerful.
You know what, Lincoln? I can suggest something on this show. Get the Lincoln out the
Carlo,
suit.
you getting quiet again.
Hold on. I can say this.
Carlo, you getting quiet again.
Lincoln.
Spout, please defend me,
Lincoln.
spout.
I can say this. I can say
Please
this. I know
defend me.
some
I
of your
sat
people
quiet. I
listening.
didn't say, you tell me, I didn't say that?
You know the Lincoln everybody fighting? Everybody fighting in their mind.
I got
The
quiet.
radical, rowing, always fighting, tearing down the gate, kicking down the door Lincoln. They see the Lincoln in a regular shirt, laid back, in a regular conversation, drinking a can soda, talking with the boys, saying the things that need to happen. So that's why people are always on the defense. Because we saying, oh, every time we see Lincoln, he on TV, we going live. Here comes the fight. They don't see the Lincoln in a nice laid-back conversation like we having right now, just relieving the ideas that he want for the country. Some people, the other crew of people I ain't gonna call the other crew of people, they think you radical. They think you too loud. So that's the pushback.
Yeah. What I am is a Bahamian. I am many things. And some of us, you behave a certain way when you go to church. You behave a certain way when you are at Toastmasters. You behave a certain way when you hang out with your boys in the basketball court. All right? Everyone has their different characters to themselves.
Sure.
All right? But there's a time for everything under the face of the sun. There would have never been change in the world unless that same radical Lincoln you're talking about
For sure.
happened. Pinlin was a radical.
I saw.
All right? All right, throwing that Mesa that was radical.
Very much so.
Milo Butler was a radical. So was Randall Fox.
Shannon Dawn too, because he threw it out.
No, that was a play. That was fake. All right? That was a
So
stage
you're trying to say they scoot up the chair so you can throw it out?
So Lincoln,
that was a stage
you
play.
made a statement
Wow, so
earlier.
you got to stop it up.
So, no, let me just say this. I get you right now.
I want to ask a question.
Let me just say this.
Because he said that Pinley was a radical because he threw the base out. I'm saying it was.
Pinlin was a radical sometimes, and then Pinlin was a diplomat sometimes. There are people who watch me on my lives every 5 o'clock every Sunday, and they see me educating the public. I'm not rowing. I'm not having any argument. But there's a time for everything. Most people see me in the media.
I watched twice early, but you know he'll be
Yeah.
done.
Oh, my Lord. I can
Yeah.
change.
Thank
I can
you
change.
very much. Yeah.
Most people see me in the media, and the media shows us when we're out there protesting.
Right.
And so that's the only time they see you.
Right,
So they may
right.
feel you're rowdy.
Right.
All right? But there's many different layers to this man. But it's going to take a strong man. Even Jesus had to go into church and tear up the place.
Absolutely.
Jesus, who said, turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Who said, call no man fool. The sweet, innocent Jesus had to go tear up the place. There's a time for everything on the face of the sun.
Go ahead, Carlo, something you want to say.
All right?
I forget.
Same nonsense. Same nonsense. Okay, let's go some more things. One of the things that's, even though we talk about the Crown Land situation, consecutive governments have allowed the cost of real estate to get so ridiculous in this country. What you gonna do about that?
Yeah. You know how you address this? Anyway, no, I feel like no shit happened.
There'll always be inflation. And so
Sure.
the key is to empower your people so that they can handle the inflation. All right, let the foreigners come in and be the regular people, like they do in the Middle East. All right, that's what I believe. Now, the reason we have not been getting access to Crown land is simple. It's because the F&M and PLP own our homes and the companies that benefit, and they give the Crown land to themselves, their company, and then they cut it up and sell you a piece of it with a shabby house on it. They're in that business. Why would they let you mess that up? Why would they issue you Crown land when they want you coming to buy land from them and house from them? That's their business. Everything that hurts the Bahamian people benefits them if you watch our society very carefully. And so that's the only reason we can't get our Crown land, and the fact that it is empowerment.
No, I was on the Crown land. I don't, but just on the whole.
Yeah,
The cost of real estate on the whole.
I was giving you the reason for that.
Right.
All right. And they keep the price above your head. Right. Now, the reason real estate price goes up is because the foreigners removed the Movable Properties Act. The foreigners started coming in and buying at hefty prices, especially when the politicians gave Crown land to themselves, and they were selling to the foreigner at high prices. They couldn't sell it to us at high price. They sold it to them. And when a foreigner comes in and says they're developing this area, the price shoots up for the land. That's economics. And so that's one of the reasons our land prices are going to the roof. The politicians are tied up with the real estate industry, and so now you can't afford land. With all the access land we have, land should be so cheap in this country, but it's expensive because they control who can be a real estate agent, who can own the land, and they control who can get land because you got to go to the banks again.
So how do we reverse it? Do we bring my money up, or do we bring that cost down?
We bring your money up.
So we ain't gonna bring that cost down.
We don't need to, not for Bahamians. It's still valuable land. If now we can own this country and be the owners, we don't want the value of our land to go down. We want it to stay where it is, but we need to be able to afford it. It's us affording it that's the problem. All right? And so...
But the land I want to buy ain't Crown land.
No, I'm not talking about Crown land. I'm talking about all land. Crown land is just a part of it. And what happened, the politicians used it corruptly, and they took beachfront Crown land, give it to themselves, and then they sold it off to foreigners. And that started this movement. And once you sell the foreigner, he never sells it back to Bahamian.
I'm not big on economics. I'm not. That's not my training. That's my background. But if we keep on carrying these prices up, isn't that going to cause? Isn't there some kind of economic something?
No, we don't need it to go.
If that stays up here and then we just carry everybody else money up, isn't that going to create some? I don't know the economic term for it. Isn't that going to create some kind of problem at some point based on the models?
No. They're talking about inflation. We're already having land inflation. We've been experiencing that.
Major.
When I was looking for property in the late 90s, early 2000s, property out east, Ivy and all them places, and out west was like $50,000. Now you can't get Bain town for $50,000.
You cannot.
All right? That's the inflation is happening anyway.
Right.
The problem is we are being priced out.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
We need our people to rise to meet that.
What we do with the banks?
The best way to regularize something is competition. All right? We're going to give the banks competition. And so we're going to have our own bank like they did in Dubai and these other countries. We're going to have a bank where we run it. We're going to take over Bank of the Bahamas and use it for the Bahamian people. The sovereign wealth fund money is going to be in there, managed from there, et cetera, et cetera. And we are going to have low fees or no fees in some instances, and we are going to give no interest loans to Bahamians. So if the banks want to keep raping and robbing the people, then you do so.
So the bank
but no one coming to you.
So the bank make money with no interest loans.
No, he said low. He said low interest.
He said low or no.
And in some instances, no interest loans.
Okay.
That's our bank.
So how do you make money?
Our bank is not going to be for profit at that point. All right? Our bank is not going to be for profit. It's not going to be to make millions of dollars off of the people. Like, I saw one bank was saying they need higher fees. And so I revealed on my show what money they made. They're bragging about making almost $200 million profit, but you want more fees? And I showed what you made from your fees already, because they're saying, oh, we got to cover our costs and this and that.
Right.
Your cost is more than covered. Plus you made almost $250 million profit, but you want more fees from us.
How you going to cover the cost in the bank with low fees or no fees?
You only need enough for the bank to be established. The bank is going to be funded by our sovereign wealth fund, the way they do it in the Middle East. This bank is funded by our sovereign wealth fund, our carbon credits, our natural resources, the salt, the aragonite, the limestone, all of these things is going to fund this bank.
So by the selling of those things, you put the money into that bank.
The selling of those things is step one. And then you have to trade that money on the market. And you trade a portion of that on the market, and then the return on the profits is what goes into the bank, goes to deal with infrastructural stuff, goes to pay down our debt, and gives a dividend to each of our people. So the principle, you don't really affect the principle. But you trade on a portion of it, and on the return on investments is what you do everything with.
Trading and risking?
Business is risking.
I just ask. I just trying to get clear on this.
Business is risking. Any business you go into.
Let me ask a question about it's been so long since there was the big push on the natural resources. I know that there have been a lot of things that you've had to focus on since then. So there are a lot of other topics that you're dealing with. The infrastructure, one of the things that I remember hearing about the infrastructure involved in getting the raw to being fully monetized, that you can maximize the yield. That there's a certain infrastructure that needs to be in place. Is that true? Is that I've heard that you know the raw that what we have is the raw material, but then it needs to be processed or whatever. How does that? What's the truth to that?
That's for aragonite.
That's a very good question. That's for any raw material. I showed in our first documentary, and our documentaries are on our website, coalitionofindependence.com. Look for documentaries, and you'll see the documentaries. I showed where they take our raw aragonite, scoop it up out of the ocean, they bag it and sell it as play sand. They sell it as aquarium sand. All right? And there's no processing in that. That aragonite is being sold. Go and watch the documentary, all the documents there, for up to $7,000 a ton. You can't make that kind of profit selling cocaine.
Give me the number again.
Up to $7,000 a ton, mostly around 3,000 something, all right? But up to $7,000 a ton, we found our aragonite for on the market, all right? Just raw aragonite, bagged. That's it, no processing. We're not talking about taking the sand and making glass or making computer chips, et cetera, just the raw aragonite that they use for play sand, et cetera. That we showed that.
7,000 a ton.
Up to. Mostly around 3,500 around
What's the
there.
market? What's the market value? Market demand.
Now the demand is great. That's a good question. But I just wanted to say the agreement with those aragonite miners was to pay $2 a ton. That's why it's so shocking. It was to pay $2 a ton, but even that they said the government wasn't collecting. Remember, they gave me this information and they gave me the documents. They said the government isn't collecting the $2.
So let's get away from the $7,000 max.
Yeah,
Let's drop it down to $2,000.
Yeah.
Are you telling us we're getting $2?
We're supposed to get $2, but even that we're not collecting. If you look at the budget every year, we get $0 for aragonite.
What is based on your findings? I don't know if you got the number. How much tons of aragonite leaves the country annually?
We don't know. They don't.
We don't even know.
Statistics. They don't know. And this is what
what's your guesstimate?
This is
based on your research. What your guesstimate is?
I believe that millions of tons of aragonite.
Really?
Yeah, tens of millions of tons of aragonite leave this country. Based on it, again, you can watch our documentaries. You'll see where the company was trying to sell aragonite to some people, and they were saying how much they have access to. 2 billion tons of aragonite is what they have access to, and they were showing what they are making. And so we got that information from them.
And it's a naturally replenishing resource, is it?
It's the only renewable natural resource in the world. And you asked about the market. Sand is the most used natural resource in the world, other than water, and that's because we drink it. But sand is the most used natural resource in the world. They use it for almost everything. If you look around in this room, I could show you sand everywhere. All right, from the paint to the concrete to the mortar to everything. All right, to the plastic, rubber, the glass, the microchips in these spoons. Your devices full of microchips and plastic, etc. You need sand for everything. And if you do a quick YouTube search and you search "the world is running out of sand," you're going to see how serious this is. The world is running out of sand. The UN deals with this constantly. And the Bahamas has the most easily accessible sand left in the world. How could we be poor? If it's the most used natural resource, the world running out of it, and we got the most of it. Our sand is so renewable, the sand just comes out of the ocean. In some
Absolutely.
places, you could come off the boat and walk.
And just walk out, yeah.
That's because no one is mining the sand. All right? The Defense Force officer said there were certain places like across the Lutra where they could just sail across, but now they got to go around because the sand is coming out.
People have weddings on the ocean.
Yes. And so...
You know that
we
people have
have-
weddings on the ocean.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, you get married in the ocean.
Yeah.
And when we come back to your anniversary, you can't find where you get married.
Yeah.
What country you get married in?
Because tie-dye.
And so while
Yeah.
people keep telling you, oh, Bahamians can't get this, oh, they're selling dreams, they can't do this, they can't do that, they don't know the value of what we have. And they are sitting down wanting to believe the politicians who have been lying to them for all these years. They lied to us, Bishop. They told us we have no natural resources.
Sure.
They went internationally saying
That is saying that's taught us in school.
yes. They said we have no natural resources.
So you honestly think, right? Hubert Ingram, Perry Christie, Lyndon Billen, none of them had the best interest of the country from this time, but they let these things that you say exist just go untouched, unused. Don't put it for the benefit of the country after, 52 years?
You have to understand there's different times. And I'm not going to judge a man because he lived in different times. George Washington did what he thought for the country, but he had slaves. All right? Many great presidents had slaves, but they did what they thought was good for the country at the time. I'm not going to judge them.
Mm-hmm.
Ingram and those guys believed that the way you do things is to give it to a few people and let them few people provide jobs. They believe that and that's what Brave Davis said to me when I sat in front of him in 2020, when we wanted to table that bill for Aragonite. And he said, I met with him and he said, Lincoln, everything you're saying with the natural resources is true. Everything you're saying with the carbon credits is true, but you can't tell the people that. He said, $100,000, that's a joke to what Bahamians could get. But you can't tell them that because they ain't going to believe you. They can say you crazy. He said, but everything you're saying is true. He said, but I'm old school. You can't give it to the people. He said, you give it to a few and let them provide jobs. I said, why? He said, because if you give it to them, they ain't going to need you. I said, what? I said, Lincoln, you won't be a politician. Understand what I'm saying? If you give it to them, they ain't going to need you. I said, so this about control. He said, it's what it is. So they
Lincoln, you
believe...
just say it's not about Lincoln, but hold up, man. We can't let it just go to that. Hold on,
He said
Lincoln.
it so casually.
Lincoln, you said, and you just keep on moving, Lincoln. Pause, man. You was the preacher, Sila. You know, Sila. Hold on. You're saying that you had a conversation with the then leader of the opposition.
I've said this publicly over and over. I've said this on radio shows. I've said this on the radio and the news. I've said this.
And have you gotten a call to say, Lincoln, stop lying?
No.
You ain't get no threat.
you-
If you
did
lie,
Ma'am come on public and say it?
if you lie again, I can put you to
Sue.
court for libel.
No. And you saw what he did. I told everyone what he told me and that he was going to stop the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And guess what he did? When he came in 2022, he ended the Sovereign Wealth Fund that Perry Christie had put in place. He ended it.
So that's you mentioned something earlier, right?
Exactly
That
what
I-
he
that I
said.
wanted to get out of you. You mentioned that you feel that the COI is going to win this election. That's
Yeah.
what you feel.
Yeah.
You see him not. You see.
And hold on. And I'm not just doing this because I feel we can win. I'm doing this because I feel it is the right thing to do.
So give me a second. Okay, cool. Understood. You don't have no problem sharing your secrets or sharing your thoughts or whatever your ideas is because you want to benefit the country.
Mhm.
What is your 100-day plan if COI wins?
Because it's so broad, I can't give you a 100-day plan for everything that we're doing, but we are releasing 100-day plans before we go into the next election. I've already shown people on my live 100-day plans for certain things like becoming a republic and certain other things. We are outlining everything that we do step by step.
Coming to a republic, you mean? Say it. What do you mean by that?
Becoming a republic. We're getting rid of the king and queen, and we're going to become our own country. They're just a titular head. They have no power, no say. What's the point of it? It's ridiculous. That's like,
so you could just make sure it still have yes master, no master.
yeah, it's no purpose for it, and so we're gonna change that. But yes, we're gonna outline in all these different areas. So the first thing we did, so if you notice the difference with us and other political parties, we started our campaign with a vision launch. We did Vision 2030, not come out and everyone get on the stage and twerk and let's have a good time and rally and jump up and down like the PLP and the FNM is trying to do. The FNM hiring all the DJs, the PLP having the big splash and just saying, don't think, just dance. Just dance. We got DJ so-and-so, DJ such and such, just dance. We sat everybody down in the IMAX Theater and in the Fusion Superplex and we said, listen, this is our plans.
I wasn't there. Give me some of the ideas you have on your plan.
Oh, man. The first thing is we want to benefit from our natural resources. So a big part of it, and all of it is on our website too, a big part of it is benefiting from our natural resources and what we're going to do with the money. There's some things we want to do. For example, we're dying in debt. Everything the government does, they got to borrow. Everything. That's ridiculous. Can you imagine, Bishop, if for everything you do, you got to get a loan. For you to go buy lunch, you got to borrow some money.
Yeah.
For you to catch the bus, you got to borrow that. That's what they do. Everything they do, they have to borrow. That doesn't make sense. And we keep voting for that. So what we need is more income. So think about it. If your bills for the month is $1,000, that's your expenses for the month, but you only make $800. Having austerity measures and cutting, tightening your belt, etc., is not going to get you to that $1,000.
Right.
That's the problem.
And the 1,000 is going up.
Yes. It's constantly because of inflation.
Right.
And because they keep borrowing. Now, what we need to do is make more money. All right? We need to make more income to get to that 1,000 and get above that 1,000.
If the Aragonite thing, just throwing it out there, hypothetical situation, the Aragonite thing doesn't work. The natural resources thing doesn't work because we see that as an almost immediate cash injection. If that doesn't work, how we can generate this cash?
The immediate cash injection isn't necessarily the Aragonite.
Go for it.
The immediate cash injection is an efficient government that is actually not squandering the money and having inflated contracts. You're not billing.
So your mind is that 800 and that 1,000, it really could actually be 1,500.
Yes.
You believe that?
Right? Yes,
But
because
just
they
because
are
of wastage.
squandering money so they can steal it. So, for example, we will never build a glass window bridge.
He's gonna be how you say
Yeah,
things.
yeah. We will never build a glass window bridge for
Things that
$80
you say
million.
so matter of fact, but I just keep on going. It's just kill me bad. Go ahead.
We will never build a glass window bridge for $80 million that really should cost $10 million. Where the rest of that money going? All right? And so that right there covers our water. That's our water right there you're playing with. Our free water.
Free water for everybody.
Yeah. All right? We will not pave 100 miles, 110 miles of road in Eleuthera for $160 million. Come on. That's ridiculous. All right? What are you billing Eleuthera over here? You billing skyscrapers? That's ridiculous. And so the things that they do, now they're going to build a prison for $90 million. It went from 40 to 90. Then back to 40, then, okay, they ain't saying nothing. Well, we can do 90 again. And so how do you go from 40 million to 90 million for prison? Like, what you billing?
So you saying, Lincoln, you will be able to clean up our spending. What you will save us on cleaning up our spending? Give me a figure. Because you somewhere around
I mean,
about.
basically, what he says now,
That's almost like $1 billion.
He just lay off just now, but quarter billion.
That's what they saying.
No, we can save. Even you saw the FNM saying that this government has spent over $250 million just on consultants. And all a consultant is money that they could give to any of their
They can give
cronies,
to me.
and they don't got to question it. All right, and they don't have to go to the House of Assembly for it. All right, so I believe that we can save $1.5 billion
Whoa.
alone.
Whoa.
Just
That's major.
on stopping the corruption.
Are you sure? That's a lot, you know.
I'm positive. We can
Whoa.
save up to
So
$1.5 billion
if we don't
alone.
sell a cup of sand, we don't sell a back trunk full of Aragonite, just from the wastage in the system, we
level out.
can be turning a profit.
Yes, we don't have to be in a deficit anymore. Now, There's something called carbon credits. Before election, they said, "Oh, carbon credits
Explain
isn't
that,
real."
Lincoln.
Yes,
Explain that.
they said carbon credits isn't real. Bain is selling dreams. Don't listen to Lincoln Bain, et cetera, et cetera. Now that's all they're talking about.
Yeah.
Tried to give it to FTX. Right? God didn't let that happen. He crushed that before.
Yeah.
You know, and so carbon credits is money that the UN put on the side to try to have a benefit for the third world countries that are affected from global warming. So what does that mean? There are countries that pollute the atmosphere and they make trillions of dollars doing so. They
Right.
make money making their iPhones and all this other stuff,
Right.
and they're selling it and making profit. But we get the effects because we get in the big hurricanes and the bad weather and the global warming with the tides rising. So they said we need to compensate these people. All right? So we could do this carbon credit system where you have a cap on how much you can do, how much carbon you can put in the air, and once you reach that cap, you have to pay in order to, thank you. Once you reach that cap, you have to pay in order for you to use more. And so you're going to pay that, you're going to buy that from one of these countries that are not polluting.
Abundance, yeah.
All right? And so, and that's what carbon credits is. That's one of the ways.
What
And
is
so-
carbon credit, though? What is it? Like, tangibly, what is it?
A carbon credit, again, is the credit that a country or company will have to buy in order to continue to pollute the air.
No, you missing what I'm saying. What is it ton? Okay, you're saying
It's a ton of carbon.
Like
all
what?
So it's the
Like-
value of what they feel
Is it-
is a ton.
trees. Like, what is it?
Carbon
Right.
dioxide.
No.
No, that's his question. So what happens is the trees.
It's really a unit of measurement.
Yeah, it's a unit of
Right, because
carbon
you want
credit
because
is a
people
unit of
using it, they don't
measurement.
know what they're saying. I want them to explain it so they can
Right. So a
understand.
carbon
Yeah,
credit
it's a unit of
is
measurement.
is how you measure the carbon, and they give you a credit for a ton of that, and it's based on the amount of carbon that you can pull from the environment.
Ah.
I'm trying to say this in simple terms.
Someone just called me this dancing band is doing. I think I'd have to spend at least one night in a $90 million prison. I need to experience that.
Yeah. That sounds like a resort. I down with that. I definitely get locked up 10 more times.
Give me
for that.
at least one night. That
Yeah,
$90 million dollars, but I got to experience that. Man. Go ahead. Sorry for that. Carbon
Yeah,
credits.
man. So the carbon credit is, so every tree pulls a certain amount, different trees do different amounts, pull a certain amount of carbon out of the air. So if you have 10 of those trees in your yard, you get 10 of whatever they can pull. So if each of those trees can pull one credit, you get 10 credits for that tree. So what they do is they come in and a company comes and measures a sampling of your forest area.
Right.
And then they won't measure the whole thing, but they'll measure something of it. They'll say, okay, based on this sampling, this is how much carbon credits this property right here can pull out of the air, and you get the credits for that. The mangroves is even greater because it pulls it out of the air and puts it underwater in the
Right,
ground,
right.
so it can't get back out. The trees actually let some of the carbon back out. Just like with us, when we exhale, we still exhale some
The
oxygen along
mangroves
with it.
drops it.
Right.
So the idea is that, I mean, it's a very complicated, very simple kind of concept. So what it is that because I'm doing all this garbage over here, I need some carbon credits so I can function.
Yeah.
So I can go to the Bahamas or go to Trinidad or go to one of these Caribbean countries, one of these clean countries, and I can purchase it from them.
Right, but it was a way to get money to us, but
Absolutely.
to have a
Absolutely.
kind of even scale and
Because
balance.
they have to buy the carbon
and
credits from us.
credit, a measurement that they could do that. Yes, because they have to buy it from us.
Right.
And so we should have been taking advantage of this from 2014, but we have not been. All right, our politicians
When
were
was it
ignorant to
introduced?
it.
When was it introduced?
2014, the Kyoto Protocol, all right, and the Paris Agreement. And so our carbon credits are now, not carbon credits, but our sea grass carbon credits are certified to be valued $156 billion per
No way.
year.
No way.
How much
All right?
is it?
You can
No
Google
way.
it.
Because it untouched.
No,
It's just-
that's
it's
just
a-
because of how much
How much-
carbon
that's what I'm
it
saying,
pulls
that's
from
what
the
I'm
air.
saying, yeah.
And it's untouched.
And we have a lot of it.
Yes.
It's untouched.
Yes.
It's all
So
through the Bahamas.
$156 billion per year. Yes, seagrass is doing that.
See, people don't know what carbon credits. They talk about it,
Yeah.
but it's good. You got to explain to them what it is.
And so we can monetize that.
Right.
And now we have those credits that we can sell on the open market to those countries and companies, especially Europe and China. America was never too big on it, but they have it in Chicago. But we can also sell to all those countries, and we can monetize.
Okay, so
it.
Pastor asked earlier, what's the infrastructure in terms of setting it up to say this is the amount of carbon credits we have registered, and this is what you have on the market to sell. Is that a major thing to set up, to say, okay, I bring it in Carlo, you measure this, we have this vote, this is the amount we have,
It's
this is
there
what we
already,
have to sell.
There's two types of carbon credits. There's mandatory and then there's voluntary.
Right.
Mandatory is when you're on the markets. That's the real one where it's oversight and the whole world is watching, the UN, etc. Our government doesn't want to do that because they don't want to account to nobody. The voluntary means you can just set up a website, for example. Simple as this. Set up a website and you can say, for everyone who is traveling here on the cruise ships, you are contributing this amount of carbon to the air because you're on that cruise ship. You can offset that by paying the Bahamas for your carbon uses voluntarily. If you're coming on a vacation to the Bahamas, you're traveling on the American Airlines, you can go to our website and pay us for that. Or you can just tax them for it. Like when I was in law school in England. In law school, when you driving into London, you got to pay a carbon tax. They charged you for polluting the air. If you don't want to pay that, don't come. It was simple. So that was almost like a initial carbon credit thing before carbon credits was out. And so this is how it's worked. We have 156 billion per year just on the seagrass, not on all the trees and all this other stuff.
All right. One of the things that I've heard said about Lincoln, it seems as though Lincoln is focusing all of his attention on Pintard and the F&M, and he letting the PLB go free.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to that?
No. I'm focusing on everyone.
Person said that was, I don't know if you heard it.
That's
but
a
it
good
was
question.
It was being said.
That's
It's
a
being
good
said,
question.
especially when in the press room, or was it opposite? Whatever, the press room, I believe it was. And why seems to Lincoln like he must be in the PLB pocket because the PLB got him in his pocket because he just attacking Pintard and the F&M.
And again, on this show, unlike in every other show I've been in, one thing y'all know about me is no one can get me in their pocket. And when it's something in my head and a principle, no one can take me off that. All right? If I believe that something to be the truth, I will stand on principle. Y'all know me.
Definitely.
And so the whole initial 3 years or so, we were exposing everything with the government. Everything that was exposed with this government, it was the COI doing it. It was Lincoln being out there exposing what was happening. We was by ourselves dealing with this government. Pintard was nowhere to be found. F&Ms were telling Pintard, man, look at the COI doing this, the COI doing this. Why you don't do something, man? So when we started dealing with the immigration situation with Keith Bell, he jumped on board and started talking about Keith Bell. But he didn't want to touch the immigration, but he talked about Keith Bell. And so we were the ones holding the government's foot to the fire alone. All right? He would do some press statements on different stuff here and there. We don't need talk, man. We need action. And so we also have to hold their foot to the fire. The opposition and the ruling party are the government, not just the government. Both are the government. And see, they don't teach us physics, so we don't understand. Both are the government. Civics, yes.
Yeah.
They don't teach us that, so we don't understand that both are the government. We are paying the leader of the opposition. So what's my theory? If someone robs you, you go to the police and you report that. The person who robbed you did bad. Okay. But if you go to the police and the police do nothing about it, you're paying them to do something about that. You say, but this man robbed me. How come, this a month later, y'all ain't doing nothing? Y'all making excuses? Why don't do something? Oh, the police is going to look for this person. But I told you where he live.
Right.
He right there.
Right.
And the police ain't doing nothing. The police is failing. You got to get on the police. Wouldn't you say the police is also wrong?
Absolutely.
The opposition is the police of the government. Their job is to hold the government's foot to the fire. And just like the police, if you do something wrong, the police grabs you and puts you before the courts. And then the court settles the matter and says, this person is innocent or they're guilty and they must punish or get this right. The opposition's job, if the government is doing bad, they have something called judicial review, and the government, the opposition will then take the government to court. Judicial review, and then the courts will say, government, you're wrong. So like Pintard is complaining, oh, the government is not following the procurement laws. They're giving away contracts and not doing it properly. Then you don't just say that in the press conference.
Right.
You take them to court and you say, listen, this $10 million you give to this person, you didn't do it properly, cancel. He can do that.
Right.
But he's not doing that. He's also the head of the PAC. And so many people didn't listen to what I was saying to him, but I was telling him, why are you so weak?
Yeah.
Use the powers of the PAC and get them in order.
Yeah.
Take them to court if they don't listen. The head of the PAC, which is the opposition, can summons them, and if they don't come, he can send them to jail. And that have the power right now. If they come and they lie to him, he can send them to jail.
I remember in the barbershop years ago when you educated me with something. You said that anyone in that room can table a bill.
Yes.
I said, man, no, man. I mean, if God, that's you. Didn't I tell you he's always smarter than us? So you know, and I never forgot that. And then when I saw you did it the first time, I say, boy, Lincoln just get my respect to another level then, because a lot of people talk about what could happen, and when they get in a position to do so, they do absolutely nothing about it. And I want to say it publicly because that was the conversation we had in the barbershop. I think we was true to corner. We wasn't upstairs yet. We wasn't on Market Street yet. We was still
Taylor Street.
We still Taylor Street. And you made that statement, and I challenged you on that. I said, man, you sure of that? I telling you that this one you spend your free time just reading things, and given all this, and I think you've done it twice now, twice or 3 times, twice.
Yeah, a couple times.
You've done it a couple times already, and you've tabled these bills, and I'm wondering still though. I wonder if they're afraid to give you credit or afraid that they look as though they're following your lead, but why still is not what we constantly hear from oppositions, and this is not just an attack on Michael Pindad, but from oppositions, we constantly hear this. This government, if we got in government, we would do this. If we got in government, we would do this. But that idea that you can actually table things now, you don't have to wait till you get in government because you actually are in government. You are presently in government.
Yes.
You are not that leading party.
You have a seat at the table.
But you're in government.
You have a seat at the table.
You know, so sorry, bro. So that whole idea that if I was in government, I would have done this, and if I wasn't government, I'd done that is just like. Anyway, we got it. I really want to put a plug in here to get our friend to kind of put us on a schedule because I think if anybody else getting regular visits, we should get regular visits.
Yeah, you got to come back.
I think not just come back. There should be a regular schedule.
Don't come back in no suit though.
There should be a regular schedule, brethren. Lock me in. I can be here every this Tuesday. Whatever. I ain't put them on the spot. It could be every 7 Tuesdays. It could be whatever. I just waiting for him to say that. Not he ain't say it on there. He can say this after when we finish. I can call some names and get your perspective. Lyndon Pinland.
Lyndon Pinland was the father of this nation, and he tried to empower Bahamians, and he came up with some roadblocks, but he had a heart for the people. He fought for the people, and he had a heart for the people. That mission and vision was lost when we lost Lyndon Pinland.
Kendall Isaacs.
Kendall Isaacs was another champion of the people who fought for what he believes in, and he is another one of the fathers of this nation.
Janet Bostwick.
Janet Bostwick is a great shining example to all, not only women, but Bahamians in this country, of being a statesman, of being an educated person, and an example of success in this country.
Gerald Cash.
Also, another shining example, one of our founding fathers, one of the great ones.
Frank Watson.
Frank Watson was the friend of Hubert Ingram. He was a politician, and we paid him handsomely for being a politician. I can't say that he is on the level with the other names that you called. He is not, but he did rise as a Bahamian to be Deputy Prime Minister of this country.
Tommy Turnquist.
Frank Watson is also one of the oligarchs of this country. And
I moved on. Why you had to go back and put that there?
Now, Tommy Turnquist is also a son of one of the oligarchs of this country. He has a silver spoon. He was born with a silver spoon, and that's all I can say about him.
Perry Christie.
Perry Christie was the successor of Sir Lyndon Pinland. He had regimes that were very corrupt, although Pinland did too eventually, but very corrupt, and he seemed to be weak, but he did have a heart for people.
Cynthia Mother Pratt.
Cynthia Mother Pratt was a woman with a good reputation, loved to help people, loved to help people get their education, and loved to...
Sorry, I said it wrong. Her Excellency. My apologies. Please forgive me. Her Excellency. That's not Governor General.
Loved to help people, et cetera. But as good as she was, she stayed in a corrupt administration and said nothing about the corruption that was going on all around her.
How you know that though? Let me finish my game. You want to get my game, but if you do you want to.
Well, possibly you finish, ain't gonna do. We up there in the show.
Yeah. So, jump in there. Go ahead, jump in.
He said, how did I know that she said nothing? I'm talking about publicly.
Okay.
There was corruption going on all around her, and she did not stand up and say, I'm a woman of God. I do not agree with this happening or that happening. It is wrong.
Hubert Ingram.
My gonna call you, bring him.
You know, come on. You know, I just built it up to get there. Hubert Ingram.
Hubert Ingram again was another successor of Celine Pinlin.
People text me say, give me names to call. They text me names. Go ahead.
He was good at managing, better at managing than Perry Christie was. He was more disciplined. He is an example of a man with no education. Never got a tertiary education, only high school education, but found a way to become a lawyer through articling, and he rose to that position. I think that he did travesties to this country. He did good and he did bad, but he did travesties to this country when he did the remove the Removable Properties Act, when he sold BTC, a breadwinner in this country, sold a part of it, and when he empowered the oligarchs with the shipping company deal that they did with them. He did a lot for the civil servants in his first term, a lot of salary increases, etc. They also raped National Insurance Board, the money, and we're paying for that now. He did a lot of things by taking money from the National Insurance Board to fund Cable Bahamas, for example, and they built a lot of things and bought a lot of mansions, etc., with the money, and now it's broke. And so he did good and he did bad. Like Brent Simonet, again, is the son of a corrupt oligarch, a corrupt former leader of this country. He's been steeped in corruption many times. He had to resign. I think almost every time he's served, he either resigned or had to resign. And I think he is an example of corruption and what is wrong with our society. And he has a lot of control when the FNM is in power, and we don't ever need him or anyone who he supports back in power.
Hubert Minnis.
Hubert Minnis is one of the worst prime ministers we've had. He seemed to come in with good intentions, but he had some mammoth tasks to deal with. He had a storm to deal with, and he had COVID-19 to deal with.
So you could pull back some of that off him, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, two major.
And you did say he implement some of your plans, too.
Yes, he did implement some of my plans. Now, it was the way...
Sorry, let me say some of your recommendations. Let's put it that. Rather than say plans.
Yeah, so it was the way he dealt with these things, all right? So it wasn't just Dorian, but it's how you treated the people during Dorian, because if donations of building supplies are there and you hide the donations from the people because if you give them donations to building supplies, the oligarchs won't make money, that's wrong. That's evil beyond measure. That you would let people
Lincoln, man.
Yeah, I have to speak the truth. I have to speak the truth.
Lincoln.
And so that is evil beyond measure. That the donations were given to the people, and he refused to give the donations to the people. That is wrong. All right.
God.
So it's not just having Dorian; it's how you dealt with it. The foreigners wanted to come in and help, and you were telling them they got to go to Nassau to clear customs instead of just letting them in and doing what they had to do. And with COVID, it's not the problem of you locking us down. The problem was that you locked us down. You told them to lock us up if we out there 1 minute after, but you see the foreigners can come to bury their dogs. You see all of this stuff that you allow, and they can have junkanoo parties and weddings while you were telling the police, lock them up. That's the problem. That is not the kind of leadership that we should ever have in this country again.
Michael Pintard.
Michael Pintard is someone who's been in politics for a very long time. He first ran in 1997. So he's always had a political ambition. That's been his life. He is also a talented creator or creative. And so he's done a lot in that realm. The problem is he's not done anything with that realm to empower other people. Like, for example, I'm a businessman. I did business boot camps. I went to China. I took other people to China to help them, to try to help others. So it's not like you couldn't think of a business you could do, have poetry nights and stuff to let other poets come and get their shine, You did a book. You couldn't teach other people how to do a book, and so it's like his life has been about him. It's just my raw opinion, and it could have been more. He doesn't have much life experience other than that. He's never run a business.
Whoa, Lincoln, that's powerful.
Yeah, he's never run a business.
No, I mean that. I don't mean the life experience part.
Yeah, he doesn't have much life experience.
And you guys didn't have life experience, man.
I thought only one gets that. I like, whoa.
I ain't saying no life
Not-
experience. The
not much.
the mind's 60.
He's more than 60. He's in his 60s.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I need to turn 60.
He doesn't have
Oh,
much-
he bought 60. That's plenty life experience, man. Man, come on, Lincoln, man.
You make it sound like do is in box up in the room, watching TV the whole time.
Just
All cold, man.
Are you serious?
yeah. I
Like, we on
don't
radio,
want you
you
all
know.
to stop me because I want to say good things and real.
I was glad you did some good. You did good. I
Don't
think
say
you
nothing
gave,
else. Just go straight to the
you
good
gave
things now.
everybody some good except for
Go
one or
straight to
two.
the
You don't
good
give them no
things
good,
now.
but you get
Yeah.
yeah.
Go straight to the good things.
No. But with Michael Pintard, I think that he has always been a politician, and he's not had much business experience, and that what I call that kind of life experience. I think he could have done more.
Okay, so when you say life, you're talking about that business kind of thing.
Right, and
Okay,
even when he was the Minister of Agriculture, there was nothing to show for it. He was the worst Minister of Agriculture in history. Cabbage was dying. You couldn't keep tilapia alive, etc. I'm talking on his record now. This is not personal. All right. As Minister of Agriculture, he was in charge of Crown land. All right. He did not protect the Crown land. The illegal immigrants were taking our Crown land in record numbers during that period of time while he was the minister. I don't know. I don't think he's responsible for it, but I think he could have protected our Crown land. When he was the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, I remember we had to always, not we, but people had to go begging for assistance. He wasn't the only one that had that problem, but come on, you now want to lead this country. When you were Minister of Youth, Sports and Cultures, sports teams were begging for money to go represent this country. All right? And you were, in my
I can say
opinion,
that's for the next person,
the
for the next show.
worst. All right?
Dwayne Sands.
And so
Dwayne Sands, man, leave back a little bit. You done match my grade up.
no, that's his public record. That ain't personal.
No,
right?
I'm glad you've not gone personal with nobody. Not just being personal.
Yeah, that ain't personal.
Yeah, because
That's
I
real.
was glad to watch at a distance you and a lot of these persons interact on a personal level, and you see that it's not personal.
No.
It's never personal.
No.
You know,
And-
Dwayne Sands.
Dwayne Sands is an excellent doctor, very excellent doctor. As a politician, I don't think that he is good. He's
Stay
not
doctoring.
a legend like those people that you initially named. I don't think he even belongs in politics. He's a failure in politics. He's been in.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to use some
Yeah.
things on the thing. Pass
You're
it,
in a
hit them things.
major-
I forget what that's why I hit that.
if you're in a major party, you should win. All right, you should be expected to win or win your seat.
Yeah.
All right, especially if your party wins.
Fred
Two
Mitchell.
more left. That's it. That's
Mitchell.
one. That's one. Then the last one be the prime minister. Fred Mitchell.
Fred Mitchell is a statesman. He's a very interesting example as a member of parliament. Fred Mitchell will be there for you when you're having your funeral or your wedding. You are going to see him.
Right.
He's going to be there for his constituents. He isn't going to do a lot like some other people, but he is going to be there to support you, and you're going to feel like he is your friend as your constituent. Fred Mitchell, though, you've never been able to directly tie him to like big corruption.
Right.
He's been in the Perry era, but they've not been able to tie him to those other stuff, except for one visa thing that they had before, right? But he's a
You gotta say it so
he was
casual.
a good
Like I say, hey, big. Visa, hey, big.
yeah yeah, because they couldn't directly tie him in such a way that you could say, okay, lock him up. But Fred Mitchell is an example of an MP who's always going to be there, always going to be present, and he travels a lot, but he still finds a way to be to the weddings and funerals. I don't know how he accomplishes that, but that's the good part about him.
man.
Yeah.
Now he is as a politician, I think he should be more diplomatic. He gets very petty. I remember a spat he had with Dr. Miles Monroe that got very petty and vicious when Dr. Miles was only saying, don't push your personal agenda on this country.
Sure.
Don't go out of this country saying you represent this and that and you represent the Bain people. If that's your view, that's your view.
Right.
And he went viciously after Dr. Miles Monroe, which we remember. But of course, he served his time, and I think that he should not run this time. He's well into his 70s. It's time to let the new generation take over.
Brave Davis.
Next. No, I'm joking. Brave Davis is a lawyer who's been in politics for a long time. He is the third part of Ingram, Christie, Davis, and Co., the trio that was put together to deceive the Bahamian people so that you could think you were voting for change, but you were voting for these three law partners who are best friends. Actually, Davis and Ingram was closer than Christie and Ingram. And so he has always been a part of this, and that's what he's been. He's a lawyer. He's also an example of someone who rose to the top without a tertiary education. He's never been to college or university, not 1 minute of college education.
Didn't know that.
He articled also, just like Ingram did. He articled. Now, Perry went to England, but those two did not. And he articled to become a lawyer, all right? There's some people who feel that he was a good lawyer. There's some people who feel that he wasn't, because a lot of the major cases he took was lost, like hanging cases, murder cases, other cases, 90. You see what happened in 90, etc. He was his lawyer. But he worked his way through. They say he was very generous, and he gave to a lot of people. And he helped a lot of people, and that's one of that reputation helped him in his political career to get where he is.
Right. Sebastian.
He's a smart young man. He's always been. I've had businesses right next to his, and sometimes we would talk. But he is a smart young man who would do anything to get where he needs to get. He decided to go into the numbers business. Some people look down on the numbers business. They feel that it's taking from the poor and taking advantage of the poor, and they feel like that is what he did to get there, and that is what he did. We feel.
Hold on,
we feel.
You turned that corner so fast.
No. I didn't mean that in a negative way. You know, that's just what people say. You know,
you say some people say that that's actually what happened. That's what you just said.
Yeah, because you're making most of your money from poor people who want, you know. So, I mean, people can have their opinions on whether it's right or wrong. I wasn't saying whether it's right or wrong. I was just saying that this is the facts of reality. They make a lot of, all of their money from the poor.
Right.
And so that's really what it is.
Would he be a good politician, though?
I was a good Tito, man.
That remains to be seen. You know, I don't know. I saw Lyle Bethel write up something that was very interesting, and I saw Sebas respond to him. You know, the problem that a lot of people have is that you can't make wrong right. And so the problem that people feel happened was that when the government legalized it, they feel that it was corruption. The number boys paid them to do so because they went against our wishes, a referendum, which constitutionally shouldn't be allowed, right? But they feel that if you're going to make something legal, the people who were doing it illegally, wrong, you shouldn't allow them to get in that business. Like, for example, in America, in a lot of the states, they now legalize marijuana. But if you was a drug dealer you can't participate in that.
You're going to be a businessman.
When Las Vegas legitimized casino gaming, if you were the gangsters that were there previously, you couldn't get involved in that. Corporates and corporations started to get involved in that. You couldn't get involved in that because you were doing it as a criminal. You can't clean up the wrongdoing, and that's what a lot of people feel. All right? And we have to give proper examples to our children. We have to say, does crime pay? And so a lot of people are saying that. All right? So I'm not saying this to judge him in any way, to be honest with you. But I'm showing you how people are thinking and how it should be in a right society that, okay, if we could legalize marijuana, if you was a drug dealer, you can't get in this because you are participating in other things.
Right.
You know, drugs, money laundering, that kind of stuff.
The last person, because I was answering some text.
He's a brilliant man.
Brilliant.
He's a brilliant man, and he did well for himself.
Yeah.
And so history will be his judge.
Yeah. And he did well for thousands of people. For thousands of people. Thousands of Bahamians. There's the last person somebody asked me, said, please ask him about this person. A lot of names I was calling was from text I was getting.
Okay.
That's the last one I got. Lincoln Bain.
Me? Lincoln Bain is a man who's lived 10 lifetimes in one life. I've done some good, I've done some bad. I've done some right, I've done some wrong. But I tried to help a lot of people along the way. I spent the early part of my life living in church, which you all know, not involved in anything negative. all right, which y'all could expose me now if that is not the truth. I always tried to be involved in positive things. I tried to have positive young men around me, all right. I always admired Tito because Tito always trying to do some project or have some vision, and he always inspired me. I was a little older than him, but he always inspired me. You know, I was always around Kenyatta and other people like yourself who were always into positive things, not the negative things. So I tried to.
Carlo name too as well.
And Carlo,
Yeah.
all right? Carlo used to work for the liquor company. I'm joking. Ain't nothing wrong with drinking. You just throwing water in the wine, all right? I'm just joking with you, Carlo.
No, I feel that way,
But
man.
Lincoln Bain spent most of his life trying to help others in every way I can. And I tried to help fight for people when no one else would fight for them. I tried to be kind to people. I love education. I love knowledge. You all would remember me in the barbershop. I come in there with my tote bag. I got about 10 books I read in one time. All right? I love knowledge and information. I love imparting that knowledge to other persons. And so, again, I tried to help all of those that I could help along the way. But I'm more about other people than I am about myself.
I like it.
And I love God more than anything in this world. And the only thing, I am not fearless. People say I'm fearless. I fear God. And that's what drives me.
What you do for fun, bro? I mean, let people know. What's fun? What's fun for Lincoln? I know you're working so much, doing all the stuff that you're doing. But when you turn the engine off, if you get a chance to turn the engine off to recreate, what does that look like?
My life is fun. I love to think of something and watch it come to reality. I love to think of, okay, we can do this business, we can do this project. I love to see that come into reality. That's my fun. All right? I watch a lot of movies. I love for the movies. I love to travel, etc.
Right.
But really fun for me, I can't go to the club hearing the same music, people, dancing up and down around me. That's not fun to me.
Right.
I've traveled the world, and I've not paid $1 to travel the world. My mission has always paid for that. My gifts have always paid for me to see the world.
Right.
I loved singing more than anything in the world, and I only went into business so that we could have money to keep, so I could have money to keep singing.
Right.
I didn't want to be hooked up on a job, and so, but business was successful, and I end up getting distracted with business more than really, continuing with the singing thing.
You really need a GQ diplomat then. More barbershop.
Any other comments before we close it off, Brendan?
Shooting pool,
You Carlo, you good?
playing dashing.
Did you get anything?
I supposed to
There's
been
no way in 1 hour
I supposed to be in the meeting from 7:30.
It's past that?
Yeah.
I had a meeting.
That's why I said you gotta come
at
again.
7 o'clock.
No, you missed all them.
Yeah, you gotta come back
numbers
again.
guys making their money from the poor is like saying the barrooms make their money from the thirsty. Responsibility people. Wow, that's a strong.
That's powerful.
That is powerful.
That's powerful.
That's Dwayne. That's Dwayne Reed. That's my brother. Let me claim him from my brother. I mean, it's
That is powerful.
Reverend Dwayne Reed. That's powerful, Reverend. I'm gonna read it again. Number guys making their money from the poor is like saying the bar rooms make their money from the thirsty.
That's powerful.
Responsibility people.
That's powerful.
Listen, I think that's it. Listen, man, bro, we appreciate this a million, man. I know we crack on you a lot, but I know you're going around the clock. We're seeing what you're doing. We're seeing the fight that you're in, and if this is a fake boy, you
I ain't gonna lie. You call them names.
if
I almost thought you sent him names ahead of time for him to answer them.
no, I'm saying that you can't. I think many have watched and say, okay, this ain't gonna last long. Lincoln can die off in a little while. Many were waiting for this to fizzle away. And it seems as though with every day you're getting stronger and stronger, man. I say this, I can shift. I was Denczil the whole time. Let me shift to be Bishop for a second and say that you are constantly on my prayer list, constantly lifting you up.
Thank you.
Lifting up your cause because I know the attacks against you. When you carry the kind of responsibility that you're carrying, there's a whole lot of demonic attack going on. And that you can't talk about, and that's not for you to talk about, but for you to focus and pray about. So we're praying for you constantly. I promise you that. That's something that we're doing. I'm committed to that because I believe that we need your voice. The nation needs your voice. I'm saying it again. I've been saying that we need your voice.
Thank you.
So we keep on lifting you up, bro. You got friends here. I hoping that you constantly come back here, man. I see you. I need you to.
Whenever you summons me, I'll be here, Bishop. Whenever you summon, I can tell you no.
We can work
I
it
can
out.
tell Sean them no. I can't tell you no.
Bingo. So I won't waste that. I can use it very judiciously. When I use that, as we get closer, we can bring you back again. Got a couple of things we didn't get to talk about. I want to talk about politicians' salaries. I want to talk about those kind of stuff. I have a problem with it. I think it's way too low. Way too low. We need to get it way up in there. Way up. I think we need to multiply by 3 at least. But we need to talk about those kind of things. And I want to get your viewpoint on those kind of conversations. Anyway, guys, this is the longest show I think we've ever had. Yeah, I think we're breaking the records. We haven't been here this late since before COVID. But it was worth it. We didn't get as much to the lines, but personally listening, we have a lot of people who was online, but they wasn't talking much. I saw there's a lot of traction on your page.
Yeah.
I got an amen on your page. Thank you for tuning in, all of you listening there. Any final comments you want to make, Lincoln?
You know, I just want Bahamians to know that it's time for something different. In every generation, there's a shift. And I think it's time for a generational shift, and I think God wants us to have more. It's time for Bahamians to be put first in this country. We are second class to the foreigners. All of them, the legal and the illegal foreigners, are getting away with what we can't get away with in this country. And it's like they make life difficult for Bahamians, but easy for everybody else. We need a country that's for us. The one country in the world where we can go to and be first. That's what we want. Yeah. We want us to benefit from what our forefathers fought for. I believe that Sir Lyndon Pinlin would have approved of this mission that I am on and not on the mission that the PLP and FNM is on right now. I believe that he would have wanted the people to be empowered. If someone could have found a way to get around the oligarchs and empower the people. And that's the mission that we are on. I'm fighting this because I love you and because I love this one country that we have. Thank you.
Blessing everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We out of here. I didn't horse night. Till I get horse. We go and have a blessed one. Carlo was. I allowed you to watch and see that Carlo was reserved. He kept his comments. He didn't speak much. Nobody was cutting him off because nobody could cut him off. I don't know. I will record the conversation we have when the show is over. And if he says anything, I'm going to record it. I'm going to play it on the air when we get started next week. Thanks, everybody. Dylan, you there? All right.
But now I'm free.